Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always filled with twinkling stars and the nights were bathed in silver moonlight, there was a quaint village named Starhaven. This village was known for its serene beauty and the shimmering starlight that seemed to touch every corner. At the heart of the village stood an ancient oak tree, beneath which lay a hidden grove. In this grove was a magical amulet known as the Starlit Amulet, said to hold the power to bring peace and prosperity to the land. The amulet had been a source of wonder and hope for generations, but one fateful night, a fierce storm swept through Starhaven and the amulet vanished. Without its protective light, the once brilliant stars began to dim, and the village fell into shadow and despair. The crops withered, and the river's song grew silent. Desperate to restore their village, the village elder, wise and kind, called upon the bravest soul he could find. That soul was a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her courage and her love for the stars. Often spending her nights gazing up at the sky, dreaming of adventures among the constellations. Mira accepted the challenge to find the Starlit Amulet and restore light to her beloved village. Armed with only her lantern and a heart full of hope, she set out on her quest. The first challenge, the Whispering Glade. Mira's journey began in the Whispering Glade, a mystical forest where the trees spoke in hushed voices and the air was filled with the scent of wildflowers. As she ventured through the glade, she came across a talking fox with fur that sparkled like stardust. To proceed through the Whispering Glade, the fox said, "You must solve this riddle. I have a heart that doesn't beat, a home that doesn't sleep, and a presence that is always near but never seen. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and answered, "A dream." The fox's eyes twinkled with approval, and it guided Mira to a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. "Follow this path," the fox instructed, "and it will lead you to the next challenge." The second challenge, the River of Echoes. Following the fox's directions, Mira arrived at the River of Echoes, a tranquil river with waters that mirrored the sky and the surrounding landscape. The river was guarded by a majestic swan whose feathers shimmered like moonlight. To cross the River of Echoes, the swan said, "You must answer this question. What is light as a feather, yet the strongest person can't hold it for much longer than a minute?" Mira thought carefully and replied, "Breath." The swan's feathers glowed warmly, and it created a bridge of shimmering light across the river. Mira crossed the river with a renewed sense of determination. The third challenge, the Cavern of Dreams. On the other side of the river, Mira discovered the Cavern of Dreams, a grand cave filled with luminescent crystals that glowed with a soft, ethereal light. At the entrance of the cavern stood a large, ancient door with intricate carvings of stars and moons. A gentle voice echoed from within the cavern. To unlock this door and find the Starlit Amulet, you must reveal your true intentions. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with a pure heart. Mira took a deep breath and spoke sincerely, "My deepest wish is to find the Starlit Amulet and restore its light to Starhaven so that my village can once again thrive and be filled with hope." The cavern's walls shimmered with a golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing the Starlit Amulet resting on a pedestal, glowing with a soft, silver light. The revelation, restoring the amulet. With the Starlit Amulet in hand, Mira returned to Starhaven. As she placed the amulet back in its rightful place beneath the ancient oak tree, its light began to spread, bathing the village in a warm, radiant glow. The stars in the sky sparkled brightly once more, and the land seemed to come alive with renewed vigor and beauty. The villagers gathered in awe as the village was restored to its former splendor. The crops flourished. The river sang its joyful song, and the nights were once again filled with the twinkling brilliance of the stars. The village elder praised Mira for her bravery and determination, and the tale of her quest became a beloved story in Starhaven. The Starlit Amulet continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and the power of a pure heart. Under the radiant light of the Starlit Amulet, the village of Starhaven flourished, forever grateful for the young girl who had restored their light and their dreams. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling lakes, there was a legend about an enchanted compass. This compass was said to point not just towards north but towards one's heart's true desire. It had the power to guide its holder to their deepest wish, but only if they were pure of heart and true in their quest. In this kingdom lived a brave and kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known throughout the land for his adventurous spirit and his desire to help others. Recently, his village had fallen on hard times, with crops failing and the once joyous river running dry. Finn believed that finding the enchanted compass could bring prosperity back to his home. One bright morning, with the sun shining and the birds singing, Finn decided to set off on a quest to find the enchanted compass and restore his village's fortune. The first challenge, the Whispering Glade. Finn's journey began in the Whispering Glade, a mystical clearing in the forest where the trees were said to communicate through gentle rustling sounds. As he ventured into the glade, he encountered a wise old tortoise with a shell that seemed to sparkle with tiny stars. To proceed through the Whispering Glade, the tortoise said in a slow, deliberate voice, "You must solve this riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Finn pondered the riddle and answered, "An echo." The tortoise's eyes twinkled with approval, and it slowly turned to reveal a hidden path. "Follow this path to continue your journey," the tortoise advised. The second challenge, the Enchanted River. Finn followed the path and soon arrived at the Enchanted River, a shimmering river with waters that sparkled with a rainbow of colors. The river was guarded by a graceful water sprite with translucent wings and a serene smile. To cross the Enchanted River, the sprite said with a musical voice, "You must answer this question: what can travel around the world while staying in a corner?" Finn thought carefully and replied, "A stamp." The water sprite's eyes lit up with delight, and with a graceful wave of her hand, she created a bridge of glowing stones across the river. Finn crossed the bridge, feeling more determined with each step. The third challenge, the Cave of Reflections. On the other side of the river, Finn discovered the entrance to the Cave of Reflections, a grand cavern with walls that mirrored the light in mesmerizing patterns. At the entrance of the cave was a large, ornate door covered in intricate patterns of stars and moons. A gentle, echoing voice came from within the cave. "To unlock this door and find the enchanted compass, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with sincerity." Finn took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the enchanted compass and use its power to restore prosperity and joy to my village. I want to help my people and bring back the happiness that we have lost." The cave's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a chamber bathed in a soft, ethereal light. In the center of the chamber, on a pedestal of shimmering crystal, rested the enchanted compass. The revelation, the compass's gift. With the enchanted compass in his hands, Finn felt a surge of hope and determination. The compass's needle spun and then pointed towards a distant, hidden location. Finn followed the direction indicated by the compass and soon found himself at the edge of his village. As he held the compass high, its magic began to awaken. A brilliant light emanated from the compass, spreading across the land. The once dry river flowed with sparkling, clear water, and the fields turned lush and green, filled with vibrant crops and blooming flowers. The villagers gathered in awe, watching as their land transformed before their eyes. They celebrated Finn's bravery and the magic of the enchanted compass, grateful for the return of their prosperity and happiness. The tale of Finn's quest and the enchanted compass became a cherished story in the kingdom. A reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that can be found in even the simplest of things. Under the restored beauty of the land and the magic of the enchanted compass, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the boy who had brought their dreams to life. Once upon a time, in a coastal village called Seabreeze, there stood a magnificent lighthouse at the edge of a rocky cliff. This lighthouse was not only a guide for sailors but also a source of magical light that kept the village safe from stormy seas and hidden dangers. In this village lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her curiosity and love for the sea. Every day, she would explore the shores, collecting seashells and dreaming of adventures beyond the horizon. Her greatest wish was to one day climb to the top of the lighthouse and see the world from its magnificent view. One evening, a fierce storm rolled into Seabreeze. The winds howled, and the sea churned violently. As the storm raged, the lighthouse's light began to flicker and dim, casting a shadow of fear over the village. The villagers gathered, worried that the lighthouse's magic was failing. Isla, feeling a deep sense of responsibility, decided to find out what was wrong. She made her way through the storm to the lighthouse, determined to restore its light. With each step, the wind howled and the rain pelted down, but Isla's resolve was unwavering. When she reached the lighthouse, she discovered that the great lantern at the top was shrouded in an eerie, dark fog. Isla knew she had to find a way to clear the fog and restore the light. Remembering the tales her grandmother had told her, she recalled that the lighthouse was guarded by a magical sea spirit named Thalassa, who could only be summoned in times of great need. With the storm raging around her, Isla climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the lighthouse. As she reached the lantern room, she saw Thalassa, a graceful spirit with shimmering blue hair and eyes like the deep sea. "Welcome, brave Isla," Thalassa said with a voice like the soothing sound of waves. "I see you have come to save the lighthouse." Isla nodded. "The light is fading, and the storm is growing worse. How can I help?" Thalassa explained, "The lighthouse's magic is tied to the sea and the moon. The storm has disturbed the balance. You must restore it by finding the 3 lost moonstones, which have been scattered across the ocean. Each moonstone holds a piece of the lighthouse's power." Without hesitation, Isla agreed to the task. Thalassa gave her a magical compass that would guide her to the moonstones. With a burst of courage, Isla set out into the stormy sea, guided by the compass and her determination. The first moonstone was hidden in a submerged cavern. Isla dove into the turbulent waters and, with the help of her underwater breathing charm given by Thalassa, she navigated through the cavern. There, amidst the glowing coral and sea creatures, she found the first moonstone nestled in an ancient chest. The second moonstone was located on the back of a giant sea turtle. Isla spotted the turtle amidst the waves and, with great care, she retrieved the moonstone from its shell, all while making sure not to harm the gentle creature. The final moonstone was hidden in the heart of a swirling whirlpool. Using all her strength and skill, Isla navigated the whirlpool's treacherous currents and grasped the moonstone from the depths, feeling a surge of magical energy as she did. With the 3 moonstones safely in her possession, Isla returned to the lighthouse. The storm had calmed slightly, and she climbed back up to the lantern room. Thalassa awaited her, and together they placed the moonstones into the lantern's base. As the moonstones were set in place, a brilliant light burst forth, cutting through the darkness and dispelling the fog. The lighthouse's magic was restored, and its light shone more brightly than ever before. The storm subsided, and the sea grew calm once more. The villagers of Seabreeze celebrated Isla's bravery and the return of the lighthouse's light. They honored her with a grand feast and declared her the guardian of the lighthouse. From that day on, Isla continued to explore the sea and protect the lighthouse, and Thalassa remained as a friend and ally. And so, the lighthouse stood tall, guiding sailors safely home and shining its light far and wide. Isla's courage became a legend, inspiring others to face their fears and seek out the magic within their hearts. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, on a rugged coast where the sea met the land with a dramatic crash of waves, stood an ancient lighthouse. This lighthouse, known as the Enchanted Lighthouse, was said to hold the power to guide lost souls back home and reveal hidden treasures to those who were pure of heart. The lighthouse had been abandoned for many years, and its light had long since faded. The villagers who lived nearby spoke of the lighthouse in hushed tones, sharing stories of its magical past. They believed that if someone were to restore the lighthouse would once again fulfill its legendary purpose. In a small, coastal village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and her kind heart. She often helped the fishermen and sailors, and her greatest wish was to bring hope and safety to those who ventured out to sea. When Mira heard about the enchanted lighthouse, she felt a deep calling to restore its light. One stormy night, Mira decided to embark on a quest to the lighthouse. She wrapped herself in a warm cloak and set out through the howling wind and driving rain. The journey was treacherous, but Mira's determination and courage kept her going. Upon reaching the lighthouse, Mira found it standing tall and weathered, its once bright paint now faded and chipped. She climbed the winding staircase to the top, where she discovered the old lantern chamber. The lantern was covered in dust and cobwebs, but Mira could see its intricate design and the remnants of its once glowing light. As she examined the lantern, a soft, ethereal voice spoke from within. To restore the light of the enchanted lighthouse, you must complete 3 tasks, each representing a different virtue. Only then will the magic of the lighthouse be awakened. Mira listened carefully as the voice continued. The first task is the task of compassion. Find and heal a wounded sea creature. With determination, Mira descended the lighthouse and ventured to the rocky shore. There, she found a sea turtle tangled in a fishing net, its flippers injured. Mira carefully freed the turtle and tended to its wounds with some herbal remedies she had brought. The sea turtle, grateful for her help, swam away with a newfound vigor, and Mira felt a sense of fulfillment. The second task was the task of bravery. Mira had to face her deepest fear. The voice guided her to a hidden cave beneath the lighthouse. Inside the cave, Mira encountered a swirling vortex of shadows. Her heart raced, but she took a deep breath and stepped into the shadows, finding a hidden chest containing a magical crystal. As she touched the crystal, the shadows vanished, and Mira's courage shone through. The final task was the task of wisdom. Mira had to solve a riddle inscribed on an old, weathered scroll, asterisk, I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Star. Mira thought carefully about the riddle and realized the answer. A map, she said aloud. The scroll glowed with a soft light, and a hidden compartment in the lantern chamber opened, revealing a key. With the key in hand, Mira returned to the lantern chamber and unlocked the lantern's mechanism. As she did, the lantern began to glow with a warm, golden light. The light grew brighter and more intense, filling the lighthouse with a radiant glow that could be seen for miles around. The villagers saw the light from the lighthouse and were filled with hope and joy. Fishermen and sailors who had been lost or stranded were guided safely back to shore. The enchanted lighthouse had fulfilled its purpose once again, thanks to Mira's bravery, compassion, and wisdom. Mira returned to the village as a hero, and the tale of her quest and the restored lighthouse became a cherished story. The lighthouse continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and guidance for all who ventured out to sea. And so, the village thrived, and the enchanted lighthouse stood tall and proud, its light a symbol of the magic that can be found in the virtues of the heart. The end. In a quaint village surrounded by lush meadows and a sparkling river, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. It was said that this tree could talk to those who truly listened. The villagers, though fascinated, only spoke of it in hushed tones, for they believed it was a tree of magic. One day, a kind-hearted girl named Elara moved to the village with her family. Elara loved nature and spent her days exploring the woods and fields. One sunny afternoon, she wandered over to the Whispering Willow, intrigued by the stories she had heard. As Elara sat under the willow's drooping branches, she closed her eyes and listened carefully. At first, there was only the sound of rustling leaves. But then, a soft, melodious voice spoke. "Welcome, Elara," the tree said gently. "I've been waiting for someone who truly cares for the world around her." Elara opened her eyes in surprise. "You can talk?" "Yes," the willow replied with a sigh. "I am the guardian of the forest, but my magic is fading. A precious gem, the heart of the forest, has been stolen by a greedy wizard. Without it, my power wanes, and the forest's magic diminishes." Elara's heart went out to the willow. "What can I do to help?" "The heart of the forest is hidden deep within the enchanted cavern, guarded by magical creatures. To retrieve it, you must solve 3 riddles," said the willow. "Do you accept this quest?" Without hesitation, Elara nodded. "I will do my best." The willow gave her a silver compass that glowed softly. "Follow this compass. It will guide you on your journey." Elara thanked the willow and set off, guided by the compass. she ventured into the dense forest, where the trees seemed to whisper secrets. After a while, she reached the entrance to the enchanted cavern. The entrance was guarded by a friendly dragon named Ignis. "I'll let you enter," Ignis said, "but only if you solve my riddle. Are you ready?" Elara nodded. Ignis's eyes glowed as he recited the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment. "A fire," she exclaimed. Ignis's scales shimmered with approval. "Correct. You may enter." Inside the cavern, Elara saw glowing crystals and heard the gentle hum of magic. She followed the compass until she came to a shimmering pool with a second guardian, a graceful water nymph named Naya. "Hello," Naya said. "To pass, you must answer my riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle and then smiled. "A joke." Naya clapped her hands in delight. "Well done. You may proceed." Elara continued deeper into the cavern until she reached a majestic hall filled with soft, golden light. At the center was a pedestal with the heart of the forest glowing brightly. But guarding it was a wise old owl named Orin. "Before you take the heart," Orin said, "you must solve one final riddle. The more you take, the more you leave behind." "What am I?" Elara thought deeply and then answered confidently. "Footsteps." Orin's eyes twinkled. "You have answered all three riddles correctly. The heart of the forest is yours to take." Elara carefully picked up the heart of the forest, feeling its warmth. She thanked Orin and made her way back to the Whispering Willow. When Elara returned, the willow's branches seemed to glow with renewed strength. The tree's voice was filled with gratitude. "You have saved the forest's magic," said the willow. "As a reward, I will grant you a single wish." Elara thought about the village and the forest that had become her home. "I wish for the forest to always be protected and for the village to flourish," she said. The willow's branches shimmered, and a gentle breeze carried Elara's wish through the land. The forest grew even more vibrant, and the village thrived with the magic restored. From that day on, Elara continued to explore and care for the forest, and she became known as the village's guardian. The Whispering Willow stood tall, its magic ever strong, and the villagers would often hear the rustling leaves telling stories of bravery and kindness. And so, Elara's tale was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that even the smallest acts of courage and compassion could restore the magic in the world. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there lived a kind-hearted woodcutter named Alden. Alden was known for his generosity and gentle nature. He always lent a helping hand to those in need, and his warm smile was a beacon of hope in the village. One evening, as Alden was returning home from the forest, he noticed a faint, ethereal glow emanating from deep within the woods. Curious, he decided to follow the light. As he ventured further, the glow grew brighter, leading him to a hidden clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, moss-covered fountain that sparkled with an otherworldly light. As Alden approached the fountain, a melodious voice echoed through the clearing. "Kind-hearted Alden, you have been chosen for a special task." The voice belonged to a beautiful water nymph named Lyria, who emerged gracefully from the fountain. Her hair flowed like liquid silver, and her eyes shone with wisdom and kindness. Many years ago, Lyria began, this fountain was enchanted by a powerful sorceress to grant wishes to those pure of heart. But the magic of the fountain is fading, and only a truly selfless act can restore its power. You, Alden, have the heart and spirit to undertake this quest. Alden, though taken aback by the sudden responsibility, nodded resolutely. "Tell me what I must do, and I will do it," he said. Lyria smiled warmly. "You must journey to the peak of Mount Alicia and retrieve the crystal of eternal light. This crystal holds the power to rejuvenate the fountain and restore its magic. The path is fraught with dangers and challenges, but I believe in your courage and kindness." With a heart full of determination, Alden set off on his journey the next morning. The villagers, hearing of his noble quest, offered him provisions and well wishes. Alden's faithful dog, Bramble, accompanied him, ready to face the unknown. As Alden and Bramble ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered various obstacles. They crossed a rickety bridge over a deep chasm, narrowly avoiding a fall into the abyss. They navigated through a dense thicket, where thorny vines seemed determined to block their path. One afternoon, they came across a group of forest creatures trapped in a hunter's net. Squirrels, rabbits, and birds all looked at Alden with pleading eyes. Without hesitation, Alden used his axe to carefully cut the net, freeing the creatures. They chittered and chirped their thanks, and a wise old owl approached him. "You have shown great kindness," the owl hooted. "Take this feather. It will guide you through the darkest paths." Alden accepted the feather gratefully and continued his journey. As night fell, Alden and Bramble made camp under a canopy of stars. Alden thought of his village, the faces of the people he loved, and the importance of his quest. He knew he had to succeed, not just for the fountain, but for the hope and joy it would bring to everyone. The next day, they reached the base of Mount Alicia. The mountain loomed high above them, its peak shrouded in mist. The climb was steep and treacherous, with loose rocks and narrow ledges. But Alden's resolve never wavered. Using the owl's feather as a guide, he found the safest paths and pressed on. Halfway up the mountain, they encountered a fearsome griffin with golden feathers and sharp claws. The griffin guarded the path, its eyes blazing with intensity. "Who dares to trespass on Mount Alicia?" it roared. Alden stepped forward, his voice steady. "I am Alden, a humble woodcutter on a quest to retrieve the crystal of eternal light. I seek it not for myself, but to restore the magic of the enchanted fountain and bring hope to my village." The griffin regarded him for a moment, then nodded. "Your heart is true, Alden. You may pass, but beware of the final trial that awaits you at the peak." With the griffin's warning in mind, Alden and Bramble continued their ascent. As they neared the summit, the air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding filled the air. At last, they reached the peak and saw the crystal of eternal light, glowing brilliantly atop a pedestal of ice. However, before Alden could approach the crystal, a fierce blizzard began to swirl around them. Out of the storm emerged a towering ice golem, its eyes gleaming with icy malice. "Only the worthy may claim the crystal," the golem rumbled. Alden knew he had to prove his worth. He stood tall and spoke with unwavering conviction. "I have come this far to bring hope and joy to my village. I have faced many challenges and shown kindness to all I met. I will not falter now." The ice golem's gaze softened, and the blizzard began to subside. "Your heart is pure, Alden. Take the crystal and fulfill your quest." With reverence, Alden approached the pedestal and gently took the crystal of eternal light. Its warmth spread through him, filling him with a sense of peace and fulfillment. He thanked the golem and began the journey back to the village. When Alden returned to the enchanted fountain, Lyria awaited him with a radiant smile. "You have succeeded, brave Alden," she said. "Place the crystal in the fountain, and its magic will be restored." Alden did as instructed, placing the crystal in the center of the fountain. Instantly, a burst of light enveloped the clearing, and the water began to sparkle with renewed magic. The fountain's glow spread throughout the forest, bringing life and vitality to every corner of the land. The villagers rejoiced as flowers bloomed, trees flourished, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of renewal. The enchanted fountain, now fully restored, continued to grant wishes to those pure of heart, bringing hope and joy to all. Alden returned to his humble life as a woodcutter, his heart forever touched by the adventure. He knew that true magic lay not just in enchanted crystals, but in the kindness and courage of ordinary people. And so, the village thrived under the watchful glow of the enchanted fountain, and the tale of Alden's bravery was passed down through generations. The land of Everwyn flourished, a testament to the power of selflessness and the enduring spirit of hope. And they all lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, enchanted forest, there was a small village named Verdantia. Verdantia was a place of wonder, where flowers sang in the breeze and trees whispered ancient secrets. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, but they were most captivated by the legend of the Moonlit Melody, a magical tune said to be played by a mysterious musician who appeared only on the full moon. The legend told of a beautiful, silver harp that was said to grant a single wish to anyone who heard its melody under the light of the full moon. The harp was believed to be hidden in the depths of the Moonlight Grove, a secret place known only to the most determined seekers. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. Mira had a heart full of dreams and a deep love for music. She had grown up hearing the tale of the Moonlit Melody and often imagined what it would be like to hear the magical harp. Her village had recently fallen on hard times, with crops failing and the river running dry. Mira's wish was to restore her village's prosperity and happiness. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Mira decided to embark on a quest to find the Moonlit Melody. She followed the moon's silvery glow into the forest, guided by a sense of purpose and hope. As Mira walked deeper into the woods, she came upon a path lined with glowing fireflies. The fireflies formed a trail that seemed to lead her toward the heart of the forest. Following their gentle light, Mira soon reached the edge of a glistening, moonlit grove. The grove was filled with an otherworldly glow, and in the center stood an ancient oak tree with a golden door embedded in its trunk. With a deep breath, Mira approached the door and gently pushed it open. Inside was a breathtaking scene, a serene, moonlit glade surrounded by shimmering flowers and soft, twinkling lights. At the center of the glade was a silver harp, its strings glowing with a soft, ethereal light. As Mira stepped closer, a figure emerged from the shadows, a graceful, elven musician with flowing silver hair and a gentle smile. The musician was the guardian of the Moonlit Melody, and he played the harp with a touch so delicate that it seemed to blend with the very essence of the moonlight. Mira stood in awe as the enchanting melody filled the air. The music was like a whisper of the night wind, a dance of moonbeams, and a symphony of stars. The melody seemed to touch her heart deeply, filling her with a sense of peace and hope. After the musician finished playing, he looked at Mira with kind eyes. "You have found the Moonlit Melody," he said softly. "The magic of this harp can grant a single wish to one who seeks it with a pure heart. What is your wish?" Mira took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I wish for my village to be restored to its former glory, so that my people may live in happiness and harmony once again." The musician nodded and placed a hand on the harp. The strings began to shimmer with an even brighter light, and a gentle breeze carried the magic of the melody through the forest. Mira watched in wonder as the grove transformed into a radiant tapestry of colors and light. As Mira returned to her village, she was greeted by a marvelous sight. The crops had flourished, the river was flowing abundantly, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of joy and prosperity. The villagers celebrated their good fortune, marveling at the sudden change that had brought them such happiness. Mira's bravery and the magic of the Moonlit Melody had restored their land, and the tale of her journey became a cherished story in Verdantia. The village thrived under the light of the full moon, and Mira's love for music and her selfless wish became a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. And so, the Moonlit Melody continued to play softly in the hearts of the villagers, a reminder of the magic that lies within the pure and selfless wishes of those who seek to bring joy to others. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang sweet melodies, there was a quaint village called Eldergrove. Eldergrove was nestled in a lush valley, surrounded by towering trees and blooming meadows. It was a peaceful place where magic was as common as wildflowers, but it was the village's greatest secret that made it truly special, an enchanted lantern. This lantern wasn't just an ordinary light, it had the power to grant one wish to anyone pure of heart who discovered its magic. It had been hidden away in the village for centuries, waiting for the right person to find it. The story of the lantern began with a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout Eldergrove for her kindness and bravery. One day, as she explored the forest near her village, she stumbled upon an ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Curiosity twinkling in her eyes, Lila reached inside and pulled out a dusty, ornate lantern. The lantern was beautiful but covered in cobwebs and dust. As she wiped it clean, a soft glow began to emanate from it. Lila's heart leapt with excitement, for she had heard the legends of the magical lantern but never truly believed they were real. The next morning, Lila returned to the forest to consult with the village elder, wise old Grandma Agnes. She had seen many things in her lifetime and knew the stories well. Grandma Agnes's eyes widened when she saw the lantern. "This is the fabled lantern of Eldergrove," she said, her voice trembling with awe. "It is said to grant a single wish to someone who is truly pure of heart." Lila's mind raced with possibilities. She thought of wishing for endless wealth or power, but those thoughts felt hollow compared to the warmth she felt when helping others. She knew her wish had to be something that would benefit not just her but the entire village. As she walked through Eldergrove, she saw the villagers facing various troubles. The crops had failed due to a recent drought, and the well that supplied water was almost dry. The villagers were disheartened, and their once vibrant community seemed to be losing hope. Lila knew what she had to do. That night, she gathered the villagers and explained her plan. With their support, she made her wish. Holding the lantern high, she said, "I wish for Eldergrove to be blessed with abundant water, so our crops can grow, our wells can fill, and our village can thrive once more." The lantern glowed brightly, and a gentle breeze swirled around them, carrying with it the soothing scent of rain. The next morning, the skies opened up, and a soft, steady rain began to fall. The villagers cheered with joy as the dry earth soaked up the much-needed water. The crops began to recover, and the well filled to the brim. As days turned into weeks, Eldergrove flourished like never before. The once dying crops were now thriving, and the village returned to its vibrant, joyous self. Lila's selfless wish had not only restored the village but also strengthened the bonds between the villagers. One evening, as Lila walked through the meadow, she saw a small, golden light fluttering in the air. It was the spirit of the lantern, now free of its duties. The spirit spoke to her in a gentle, melodious voice, "Thank you, Lila. Your pure heart and selfless wish have brought joy to Eldergrove. Though the lantern's magic is now fulfilled, the true magic lies in the kindness you've shown." With that, the spirit faded into the twilight, leaving behind a gentle, warm glow that bathed the village in a serene light. From that day on, the lantern was kept in the village square as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that lives within every kind heart. And so, Eldergrove thrived, not just from the blessings of a magical lantern but from the love and care of its people. As for Lila, she continued to help her village with the same kindness and bravery that had guided her to her greatest adventure. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a beautiful forest called the Enchanted Forest. The forest was filled with tall, ancient trees, sparkling streams, and colorful flowers. It was a place of magic, where animals could talk, and fairies lived among the trees. In this forest lived a little squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was small but very brave. He loved to explore the forest, climb the tallest trees, and find the best acorns. Sammy had many friends, including Benny the bunny, Tina the turtle, and Luna the fairy. One sunny day, as Sammy was gathering acorns, he heard a soft cry coming from the bushes. He quickly scampered over and found a tiny bird named Chirpy, who had hurt its wing and couldn't fly. "Oh no, Chirpy." "What happened?" asked Sammy. "I was trying to fly high and see the whole forest, but I hurt my wing," Chirpy replied sadly. "Don't worry, Chirpy. I'll take you to Luna. She knows how to heal wings," said Sammy. Sammy gently picked up Chirpy and hurried to Luna's home, which was a beautiful flower house hidden in a big oak tree. Luna was a kind fairy with sparkling wings and a warm smile. "Luna, can you help Chirpy?" "He hurt his wing," Sammy asked. Luna looked at Chirpy's wing and smiled. "Of course, I can help. But we need a special healing flower that grows in the deepest part of the forest." Sammy's eyes widened. The deepest part of the forest was known to be mysterious and a little scary, but Sammy was determined to help his friend. "I'll go get the flower," said Sammy bravely. Luna gave Sammy a little map and a tiny pouch of fairy dust for protection. Sammy set off on his adventure, feeling a mix of excitement and a bit of fear. As Sammy ventured deeper into the forest, he saw many amazing sights. He crossed a sparkling blue stream, where he met a friendly frog who showed him the way. He walked through a meadow of colorful flowers, where butterflies danced around him. Finally, Sammy reached the deepest part of the forest. The trees were tall and dark, and it was very quiet. Sammy took a deep breath and followed the map. He soon found the special healing flower, glowing softly in the shade of a big tree. Just as Sammy picked the flower, a loud growl echoed through the forest. A big, shadowy figure emerged from the trees. It was a giant bear, looking very grumpy. "Who dares to take my flower?" the bear growled. Sammy was scared but stood tall. "I'm Sammy, and I need this flower to help my friend Chirpy." The bear looked at Sammy for a moment and then sighed. "I see. I used to be a kind bear, but I became grumpy because I was lonely. No one ever visited me here." Sammy felt sorry for the bear. "I'm sorry you're lonely. Maybe you can come back with me and meet my friends. We would love to have you." The bear's eyes softened. "You would do that for me?" "Of course," said Sammy. "Everyone deserves friends." The bear smiled and agreed to come with Sammy. Together, they walked back to Luna's house. Luna healed Chirpy's wing with the special flower, and Chirpy was soon flying happily again. Sammy introduced the bear to all his friends, and they welcomed him warmly. The bear, whose name was Bruno, became a beloved member of the forest community. He was no longer lonely and grumpy but happy and kind. From that day on, Sammy, Chirpy, Luna, and all their friends, including Bruno, lived happily in the enchanted forest. They went on many adventures together and always helped each other, knowing that true friendship was the greatest magic of all. And so, the enchanted forest remained a place of wonder and joy, where everyone, big or small, was welcome. The end. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Everwood, there was an old well at the edge of the village square. This was no ordinary well, it was known as the Wishing Well. Legend said it could grant one wish to those who truly believed and had a heart full of hope. However, the well had been silent for many years, and its magic was thought to have faded. In Everwood lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was a dreamer with a heart full of kindness. He spent his days helping his neighbors, always hoping to make their lives better. His greatest wish was to restore his village's old library, which had fallen into disrepair and was now closed. Finn believed that the library held the key to unlocking the village's potential and bringing knowledge and joy to everyone. One crisp autumn day, after reading one of the few books left in the library, Finn decided that he would try to make his wish come true. He approached the wishing well with a determined heart. As he gazed into its depths, he saw nothing but darkness. Yet, he had heard the stories from his elders and believed in the well's magic. With a deep breath, Finn took a small coin from his pocket and dropped it into the well, making his heartfelt wish. "I wish to restore the old library and bring knowledge and happiness back to Everwood," he said. The well remained silent, and Finn left feeling a mixture of hope and doubt. As days passed, Finn worked tirelessly on his own, cleaning up the library, repairing broken shelves, and gathering donations from the villagers. Despite his efforts, the library remained a long way from being restored. One night, as Finn was working late, a soft glow filled the library. He looked up to see a small, glowing figure hovering in the air. It was a friendly fairy named Leora, who had been sent by the magic of the Wishing Well. "Finn, your wish has reached the heart of the well," Leora said with a warm smile. "But to truly restore the library, you must undertake a quest. The library holds many secrets, and only by uncovering them can you bring it back to life." Leora handed Finn a small, ornate key and a map that showed 3 hidden locations around the village. Each of these places holds a piece of the library's magic. Find them, and you will unlock the power needed to restore the library. Finn accepted the key and the map, and the next day began his quest. The first location on the map was the old oak tree at the edge of the village. Finn discovered a hidden compartment in the tree's trunk, containing a dusty, old book. As he opened the book, it glowed with a warm light, and the pages revealed the history of the library and its significance to Everwood. The second location was a small, forgotten garden behind the village church. In the center of the garden was a weathered stone pedestal. On the pedestal was a delicate, silver charm shaped like an open book. Finn took the charm and felt a surge of inspiration and hope. The final location led Finn to the village's ancient well, which was now a serene pond covered with lily pads. Underneath the water, Finn found a beautiful, golden locket. Inside the locket was a tiny, intricate model of the library. Finn realized that the locket symbolized the heart of the library and its connection to the villagers. With all three pieces in hand, Finn returned to the library. As he placed the book, charm, and locket in the center of the main reading room, a brilliant light enveloped the library. The old shelves and walls were magically restored, and the library's once dusty books began to glow with new life. The villagers gathered in awe as the library was transformed into a vibrant, welcoming place filled with knowledge and magic. They celebrated Finn's success and thanked him for his dedication and hard work. From that day on, the library became the heart of Everwood, where villagers came to learn, share stories, and dream of new possibilities. Finn's wish had come true, and the village flourished with renewed energy and joy. The wishing well, though silent once more, had fulfilled its promise through Finn's unwavering belief and determination. And so, the tale of the wishing well and the boy who restored the library became a cherished story in Everwood, inspiring generations to believe in the magic of their own hearts and the power of dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in the charming village of Elder Tree, nestled between emerald hills and a sparkling river, there was a legend about an enchanted orchard hidden deep in the Whispering Woods. The orchard was said to be a place of magic and wonder, where the fruit on the trees could grant extraordinary gifts. However, it was also said that only those with a pure heart and noble intentions could find it. The village was home to a young girl named Arya, known for her kindness and boundless curiosity. Arya had always been fascinated by the stories of the enchanted orchard, especially because her village was struggling with a mysterious blight that threatened their crops and livelihoods. Desperate to help, Arya decided to find the orchard and seek its magical fruit. One crisp autumn morning, Arya set out on her journey with a small satchel of supplies and a map she had carefully drawn from old stories. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper encouragement, and the path ahead was bathed in a soft, golden light. The first challenge Arya encountered was the Gate of Seasons, guarded by a gentle fae named Leora. Leora's wings shimmered like autumn leaves as she spoke. To enter the enchanted orchard, Leora said, "You must show that you understand the balance of the seasons. Here is a riddle for you. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have eyes, but I need light. I don't have a mouth, but I need water. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and answered, "A plant." Leora smiled and opened the gate, revealing a path lined with trees that glowed softly with enchantment. Arya continued along the path until she arrived at the crystal pond, where shimmering water reflected the sky like a mirror. Floating on the water was a silver lily pad with a single, radiant pearl. A wise old turtle named Orin, who lived at the pond, greeted her. To retrieve the pearl, Orin said, "You must show patience and care. The water is delicate, and so is your heart. Show me that you can navigate the pond with gentle hands." Arya noticed that the pond was home to delicate fish that darted about playfully. Using a small boat she found nearby, she carefully navigated through the water, avoiding the fish and maintaining a steady course. She reached the lily pad, took the pearl, and returned to the shore, having shown the patience and care Orin had sought. The final challenge led Arya to the enchanted orchard itself. She arrived at a grand archway covered in vines and flowers. As she stepped through, she saw trees laden with glowing, magical fruit. However, the orchard was protected by a majestic griffin named Thorn, who guarded the entrance to the heart of the orchard. To take from the orchard, Thorn said, "You must demonstrate the true intent of your heart. To do so, you must answer this question: what is the greatest gift you can give, which cannot be bought or measured?" Arya thought deeply and responded, the greatest gift is love and kindness, for it is not something that can be bought but is shared freely with others." Thorn nodded in approval, and with a majestic sweep of his wings, he allowed Arya to enter the heart of the orchard. There, she found a single, golden apple hanging from the highest branch of the oldest tree in the orchard. As she reached for the apple, the tree spoke in a gentle, rustling voice. "Pick this apple with a heart full of love and a wish for your village." Arya picked the apple and made a heartfelt wish for the blight to be lifted and for prosperity to return to Elder Tree. The apple glowed brightly, and a warm, golden light spread through the orchard. When Arya returned to her village, she found that the blight had vanished. The crops were lush and healthy, and the fields were green and vibrant once more. The villagers were overjoyed and celebrated Arya's bravery and selflessness. The enchanted orchard's magic had not only saved their crops but had also inspired a new sense of hope and unity within the village. Arya's adventure became a cherished story in Elder Tree, a reminder that true magic lies in the purity of one's heart and the kindness one shares with others. And so, the village of Elder Tree thrived, with Arya's courage and the orchard's magic bringing lasting joy and prosperity to the land. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a valley where wildflowers danced with the breeze and the air was filled with the songs of birds, there stood a majestic willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was said to be enchanted, with branches that swayed gently even when the air was still, and leaves that glistened like emeralds in the sunlight. The villagers of Meadowbrook believed that the tree could communicate with those who truly listened, sharing wisdom and granting wishes. In the heart of Meadowbrook lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She spent her days helping her neighbors and exploring the lush countryside, always dreaming of discovering something magical. One summer evening, as the golden sun dipped below the horizon, Lila visited the Whispering Willow. She had heard stories of its magic since she was a child but had never dared to approach it alone. This evening, however, she felt a deep longing to know if the legends were true. As Lila approached the willow, she noticed that its branches seemed to beckon her closer. The leaves rustled softly, and a gentle voice, like a breeze through the branches, whispered, "Welcome, Lila. You seek something beyond the ordinary. What is it that you wish to know?" With a mixture of excitement and nervousness, Lila replied, "I want to bring happiness to my village, which has been troubled by a long drought. The fields are dry, and the river has shrunk to a mere trickle. I wish to restore the land's prosperity." The Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered with a soft, green glow. "To fulfill your wish, you must embark on a journey to find the 3 hidden treasures of the elements. Each treasure will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." Lila's heart swelled with determination. "I will do whatever it takes." The willow's branches swayed, and a path emerged from the base of the tree, leading Lila into the forest. The first task was to find the Crystal of Courage, hidden in a cave guarded by a fierce dragon. The cave was deep and dark, and Lila's heart raced as she ventured inside. When she finally came face to face with the dragon, she discovered that it was not fearsome but sad. Its scales were dull, and its eyes were filled with sorrow. Lila approached the dragon and spoke gently, "Why are you so sad?" The dragon explained that it had lost its fiery breath due to a magical curse. Without its fire, it could no longer guard the cave properly. Lila offered to help and, using the warmth of her heart and a spark from her lantern, she rekindled the dragon's fire. Grateful and now filled with joy, the dragon gave Lila the Crystal of Courage, which sparkled with a vibrant, fiery glow. The second task led Lila to a tranquil lake where she needed to find the Pearl of Wisdom. The pearl was hidden under the water, guarded by a wise old turtle who spoke in riddles. To find the pearl, Lila had to solve the turtle's riddles, which challenged her intellect and patience. With each riddle she solved, the turtle's approval grew. Finally, Lila solved the last riddle and retrieved the Pearl of Wisdom from the lakebed. The pearl shone with a calm, serene light that filled Lila with a sense of inner peace. The final task took Lila to the highest peak of the mountain range, where she needed to find the Leaf of Kindness. The leaf was said to bloom only in the presence of true compassion. As Lila climbed the steep, icy paths, she encountered travelers who were lost and in need of help. Despite her own fatigue, Lila assisted the travelers, guiding them to safety and offering them warm food. Her acts of kindness warmed the cold mountain air, and as she reached the summit, she found the leaf of kindness glowing brightly among the frost-covered plants. With all three treasures in hand, Lila returned to the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches danced with excitement as she presented the crystal of courage, the pearl of wisdom, and the leaf of kindness. The willow absorbed their magic, and a powerful energy began to flow through the land. The drought began to lift, and rain clouds gathered over Meadowbrook. The fields were soon lush and green, and the river flowed freely once more. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating the return of prosperity and the magic that Lila had restored. Lila's bravery, wisdom, and kindness became legendary in Meadowbrook, and the Whispering Willow continued to watch over the village, sharing its wisdom with those who listened. And so, Meadowbrook thrived under the care of the Whispering Willow, and Lila's story was told for generations as a reminder of the magic that exists within a pure heart and the power of selfless acts. Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled between misty mountains and a sparkling lake, lived a kind and curious girl named Clara. Clara loved stargazing and often spent her nights on the hill behind her house, watching the stars twinkle in the vast night sky. She had a special bond with the stars, believing they held secrets and dreams. One crisp autumn evening, as Clara gazed up at the sky, she noticed something unusual. A single star seemed to shine brighter than the rest, casting a shimmering trail of light. The star appeared to be guiding her. Intrigued, Clara followed the star's path through the forest and over the hills until she reached an ancient oak tree in the heart of the forest. The tree was magnificent, its branches sprawling out like welcoming arms. At its base, Clara found a small, hidden door. The door was adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. Clara, her heart pounding with excitement, gently pushed the door open and stepped inside. She found herself in a magical glade, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the glade was a large, shimmering pool, its surface reflecting the stars above. Floating above the pool was a delicate, silver pendant with a star-shaped gem in its center. As Clara approached the pendant, a figure emerged from the shadows, a wise old woman with a cloak that shimmered like the night sky. "Welcome, Clara," the woman said with a gentle voice. "I am Celestia, the guardian of the starry pendant. You have been chosen to embark on a special quest." Clara's eyes widened in wonder. "What is this quest?" Celestia explained that the starry pendant had the power to grant a single wish, but it had been stolen from the sky by a mischievous sprite named Lumine. Without the pendant, the balance of the stars was disturbed, and their light was fading. To restore the stars' light, Celestia continued, "You must retrieve the pendant from Lumine's lair in the Twilight Caves. Only someone with a pure heart and unwavering bravery can succeed." Determined to help, Clara accepted the quest. Celestia handed her a small, silver lantern. "This lantern will light your way and reveal the path to the Twilight Caves." With the lantern in hand, Clara ventured into the forest once more. The path to the Twilight Caves was filled with challenges, narrow, winding trails, and dark, shadowy corners. But Clara's lantern glowed brightly, guiding her through the darkness. Finally, she arrived at the entrance to the Twilight Caves. The caves were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and glimmering crystals. As Clara made her way through the maze, she heard soft, tinkling laughter. At the heart of the cave, she found Lumine, a tiny sprite with sparkling wings, holding the starry pendant. "Why did you take the pendant?" Clara asked, her voice echoing through the cave. Lumine looked up, his eyes filled with mischief and regret. "I took it because I wanted to create my own constellation, but I didn't realize the harm it would cause. The stars are losing their light, and the sky is growing dim." Clara's heart softened. "It's not too late to make things right. Please return the pendant, and we can restore the stars together." Lumine looked at Clara, her kindness touching him deeply. With a sigh, he handed her the starry pendant. "You're right. I didn't think of the consequences. I'll return it." As Clara took the pendant, its light grew even brighter, and the cave began to shimmer with renewed brilliance. Clara thanked Lumine and made her way back to the glade, the pendant glowing warmly in her hand. Celestia awaited her arrival with a hopeful smile. Clara placed the pendant in the center of the glade, and its light spread across the sky like a wave of stardust. The stars began to twinkle brightly once more, restoring their luminous beauty. Celestia smiled and said, "You have succeeded, Clara. The stars are shining brightly again, thanks to your bravery and compassion. The starry pendant has fulfilled its purpose, and your wish has been granted." Clara returned to her village, her heart filled with joy. She continued to stargaze, but now with a deeper understanding of the magic and balance of the universe. The tale of her quest and the restored light of the stars became a cherished legend in her village. And every night, as Clara gazed up at the twinkling stars, she knew that she had helped bring their light back to the sky, and that magic and kindness were the true keys to the universe's wonders. The end. In the heart of a misty valley, surrounded by whispering woods and shimmering lakes, lay the village of Lunaria. Lunaria was known for its beautiful moonlit nights when the stars danced across the sky and the moon's light painted everything in silver. But there was one secret that made these nights even more special: the moonlit melody. The moonlit melody was a magical tune that could only be heard on nights when the moon was full. It was said that the melody could only be played by someone pure of heart, and it had the power to heal and bring joy to those who heard it. For many years, the villagers spoke of the melody, but no one had ever seen who played it. One evening, a kind-hearted young girl named Elara moved to Lunaria with her grandmother. Elara loved the village and was fascinated by the tales of the moonlit melody. Her grandmother often told her stories about how the melody could make flowers bloom in winter and bring peace to troubled hearts. On her first full moon night in Lunaria, Elara went outside to listen for the melody. As the moon rose high and the stars sparkled brightly, she heard a soft, enchanting tune drifting through the air. It was the moonlit melody. Elara followed the sound, her heart pounding with excitement. The melody led her to the edge of the village and into the dense woods. There, she found a hidden glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent, silver harp, its strings shimmering under the moon's glow. Sitting gracefully beside the harp was a mysterious figure cloaked in shimmering robes. The figure played the harp with delicate fingers, and the music was even more beautiful up close. Elara was mesmerized. She stepped forward, making a soft sound. The figure looked up and smiled kindly. "Who are you?" Elara asked, her voice full of wonder. "I am Lyra, the guardian of the moonlit melody," the figure replied. "I play this melody to bring joy and healing to the world. It has been my duty for many centuries." Elara's eyes widened. "Can you teach me to play the moonlit melody? I want to help others, just like you." Lyra's eyes twinkled. "The melody can only be played by those with a pure heart. If you wish to learn, you must first prove your kindness." Lyra explained that there was a magical challenge Elara needed to complete. She must help 3 people in need before the moon set. Each person would present her with a challenge, and only by solving these challenges with compassion could she earn the right to learn the melody. Elara agreed and set off on her quest. Her first stop was an elderly woman who had lost her way in the forest. Elara guided her back to her cozy cottage, sharing warm tea and stories. The woman, grateful and comforted, gave Elara a small, glowing feather as a token of thanks. Next, Elara found a wounded deer lying by the stream. She gently tended to its injuries, using her scarf to bandage its leg. The deer, now able to walk again, nudged Elara with its head and gave her a shimmering leaf as a sign of its gratitude. Finally, Elara came across a young boy sitting alone by the river, looking sad. He had lost his favorite toy boat in the river. Elara searched the water and, with a little effort, retrieved the boat. The boy's face lit up with joy, and he hugged Elara tightly, handing her a tiny, sparkling stone. With the 3 tokens, feather, leaf, and stone, Elara returned to the glade. Lyra smiled and accepted the gifts. You have shown great kindness and compassion. You are now worthy to learn the moonlit melody. Lyra taught Elara how to play the harp and the melody that had enchanted the village for so long. Under Lyra's guidance, Elara played the harp, and the melody filled the night with a deeper magic, one of hope and healing. As the moon began to set, Lyra blessed Elara and disappeared into the mist. From then on, Elara played the moonlit melody on every full moon night, spreading joy and healing throughout Lunaria and beyond. The village of Lunaria thrived with the magic of the melody. The moonlit nights became even more magical, and the tale of Elara's kindness and the moonlit melody was passed down through generations. And so, the secret of the moonlit melody continued, cherished by all who heard it, and Elara's story became a timeless legend of the power of kindness and the magic of the moon. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Luminara, nestled at the edge of a dense, ancient forest, there lived a young girl named Stella. Stella was known for her kind heart and her love for the night sky. Every evening, she would sit by the window, gazing at the stars and dreaming of adventures beyond the horizon. One fateful night, as Stella watched the sky, a brilliant streak of light shot across the heavens and landed somewhere deep within the forest. Curious and feeling an inexplicable pull, Stella decided to investigate. She packed a small bag with essentials and, under the cover of the moonlight, ventured into the forest. The forest was dark and mysterious, with shadows dancing between the trees. Stella's heart pounded with a mix of fear and excitement. She followed the faint glow that seemed to beckon her deeper into the woods. After a while, she stumbled upon a clearing where the light was brightest. There, she found a shimmering, blue stone nestled in the grass. As she picked it up, it pulsed with warmth and energy. Suddenly, a soft, musical voice filled the air. "You have found the Starstone," said the voice. "I am Luna, the Moon Guardian. This stone holds the power to restore balance to our world, but it has been stolen by the dark sorcerer who resides in the Shadow Mountain. You, Stella, have been chosen to return it to its rightful place." Determined to help, Stella agreed to take on the quest. Luna bestowed upon her a small, silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon. "This will guide you and protect you on your journey," she said. As Stella set out towards Shadow Mountain, she was joined by a wise and gentle owl named Orion. "I will help you navigate through the forest and the challenges ahead," he hooted. Together, they traveled through the enchanted forest, braving thorny underbrush and crossing treacherous rivers. One evening, as they rested by a crystal-clear stream, they were approached by a sleek, silver wolf named Lyra. "I have heard of your quest," she said. "The path ahead is perilous, but I will lend you my strength and knowledge of the mountain." With Orion and Lyra by her side, Stella felt more confident. They continued their journey, facing numerous trials. They passed through the Whispering Caves, where voices of lost travelers tried to lead them astray, and climbed the steep, icy slopes of Shadow Mountain. Finally, they reached the Dark Sorcerer's lair, a fortress carved into the mountain itself. The air was thick with dark magic, and the entrance was guarded by fearsome creatures. Drawing upon their combined courage, Stella, Orion, and Lyra approached the gate. Using the power of the Starstone, Stella illuminated the fortress with a brilliant light, dispelling the shadows and weakening the Dark Sorcerer's magic. They confronted the sorcerer, a tall figure cloaked in darkness, with eyes that glowed like embers. "You cannot defeat me," the sorcerer hissed. "The darkness will always prevail." But Stella, holding the Starstone high, replied with determination, "Light and hope will always find a way." The Starstone's light grew brighter, forcing the sorcerer to retreat. With one final burst of energy, the stone shattered the sorcerer's dark magic, breaking his hold over the land. The fortress crumbled, and the sorcerer vanished into the night. With the sorcerer defeated, Stella placed the Starstone in its rightful place atop the mountain. The sky cleared, revealing a dazzling array of stars, brighter than ever before. The balance was restored, and the land of Luminara flourished once again. Stella, Orion, and Lyra returned to the village as heroes. The villagers celebrated their bravery and welcomed them with open arms. The moon shone brightly, and Luna's voice echoed in Stella's heart, thanking her for her courage and kindness. From that day on, Stella's name was remembered as a legend, a beacon of hope and light. She continued to explore the world, always guided by the stars and the wisdom of her loyal friends. And so, Stella lived a life full of adventure and wonder, under the watchful eyes of the moon and stars. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a tranquil valley surrounded by majestic mountains, lay a charming village named Lumina. Lumina was famous for its enchanting orchard that shimmered under the night sky, known as the Starlit Orchard. Every evening, the orchard would glow with the light of thousands of twinkling starfruits hanging from the trees. These starfruits were said to bring good fortune and happiness to those who harvested them. In the heart of Lumina lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her kindness and adventurous spirit. She often gazed at the starlit orchard from her window, dreaming of one day exploring its magical trees. Her grandmother had once told her that the orchard held a secret, a hidden grove where the most powerful starfruit of all grew, known as the celestial fruit. One moonlit evening, as the village prepared for the annual harvest festival, the orchard's lights began to flicker and fade. The villagers grew worried, for the festival depended on the orchard's glowing fruits. Mira, determined to help, decided to investigate the source of the fading light. With a small lantern and a basket, Mira entered the orchard as twilight fell. She walked among the trees, marveling at the soft, starlit glow, until she reached a secluded corner of the orchard. There, she found a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Greetings, young one," the owl hooted softly. "I am Orion, the guardian of the starlit orchard. The light of the starfruits has dimmed because the celestial fruit is missing. Without it, the orchard's magic fades." Mira's eyes widened with determination. "Where can I find the celestial fruit?" Orion's eyes glowed gently. "To find the celestial fruit, you must undertake 3 trials. Each trial will test your heart and spirit. Only those who are true of heart can reach the hidden grove where the celestial fruit grows." With a nod of resolve, Mira accepted the challenge. Orion guided her to the first trial, which was located at the edge of the orchard, where a serene pond lay. The challenge was to retrieve a glimmering star from the middle of the pond, guarded by a shimmering water spirit. The water spirit spoke, "To take the star, you must answer this riddle. I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but not go inside. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and replied, "A piano." The water spirit smiled and handed Mira the star, which twinkled brightly. Mira continued her journey, carrying the star with her. The second trial led Mira to a dense thicket of thorny bushes. In the center was a crystal-clear stream with a bridge made of shimmering light. But the bridge was guarded by a mischievous fairy who challenged her with a task. The fairy said, "To cross the bridge, you must show me a heart full of kindness. Find something in the thicket that can bring joy to someone else." Mira searched through the thicket and found a delicate, colorful flower hidden among the thorns. She picked it gently and offered it to the fairy, who was delighted by Mira's act of kindness. The fairy allowed Mira to cross the bridge and continue her journey. The final trial took Mira to a dark, mysterious cave. Inside the cave, a maze of glowing, twisting paths awaited her. At the end of the maze was a golden door, but it was locked with a magical keyhole that required a special key. Mira searched through the maze and found the key hidden in a small alcove. With the key in hand, Mira unlocked the golden door and entered a hidden grove bathed in soft, ethereal light. In the center of the grove stood a tree with a single, radiant celestial fruit hanging from its branches. As Mira reached for the celestial fruit, a gentle breeze rustled through the grove, and the fruit glowed even brighter. She carefully picked the fruit and felt its warmth and magic. When Mira returned to the orchard with the celestial fruit, the light of the starfruits began to shine brightly once more. The orchard was filled with a brilliant, golden glow, and the villagers rejoiced as the harvest festival continued with renewed magic and joy. The villagers celebrated Mira's bravery and kindness, and the story of her quest became a cherished legend in Lumina. The celestial fruit was placed in a special place in the village square, where its light would always remind everyone of the courage and heart it took to restore the magic of the starlit orchard. And so, the village of Lumina thrived under the magical glow of the orchard, and Myra's tale was passed down through generations, a testament to the power of determination and the magic that lies within a true heart. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and dense, whispering forests, there was a garden unlike any other. This garden was said to be enchanted, hidden away behind a tall, ivy-covered gate that no one had opened for generations. It was known only through the tales told by the village's elders, who spoke of flowers that sang lullabies and trees that told stories. The village was small and charming, but life there had grown a little dull. The villagers worked hard, tended to their fields, and cared for their animals, but the magic and wonder that once filled their lives had faded into memory. The only one who still believed in the tales of the enchanted garden was a little girl named Lila. Lila was curious and adventurous, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of questions. Every evening, she would sit by the gate and imagine what lay beyond it. She imagined flowers that shimmered like stars and trees that whispered secrets of faraway lands. One summer's day, as the sun began to set and the sky turned into a canvas of orange and pink, Lila noticed something peculiar. The gate, which had always been locked tight, was now slightly ajar. Her heart raced with excitement as she pushed the gate open just enough to squeeze through. On the other side, Lila found herself in a garden that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. The flowers were indeed like stars, their petals radiating soft, shimmering colors. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves rustling with the gentle hum of ancient songs. The air was filled with the scent of blooming roses and the sound of melodies that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. As Lila wandered deeper into the garden, she heard a soft voice singing a lullaby. She followed the sound and came upon a small, clear pond. Floating above the pond was a tiny, shimmering figure, a fairy with delicate wings that sparkled like dew in the morning sun. The fairy was singing to the water lilies, which were swaying in rhythm with the melody. "Hello," Lila said softly, not wanting to startle the fairy. The fairy looked up with a twinkle in her eye. "Hello, little one. I am Lyra, the guardian of this garden. Few have ventured here in many years." Lila's eyes widened with wonder. "Is it really true? Do the flowers sing and the trees talk?" Lyra smiled and nodded. "Yes, indeed. This garden is a place of magic and dreams. It reflects the beauty and wonder of the world. But it is also a place that needs to be protected. Only those with a pure heart and a sense of wonder may enter." Lila's face lit up with a smile. "I've always believed in magic. I've dreamed of seeing this garden with my own eyes." Lyra's eyes softened. "Then you are truly welcome here. But before you go, there is something I must show you." With a wave of her tiny hand, Lyra led Lila to a large, ancient tree at the center of the garden. Its trunk was wide, and its branches reached up like arms toward the sky. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols of stars and moons. "This is the Tree of Wishes," Lyra explained. "It holds the power to grant one true wish to someone with a heart full of dreams." Lila gazed at the tree in awe. "I don't know what to wish for. There are so many things I could ask for." Lyra nodded. "Think carefully, for your wish must come from the heart and reflect the true nature of what you desire most." Lila thought long and hard. She thought about her village and how the magic and wonder seemed to be missing from their lives. She thought about how much she wanted to share the beauty of the garden with her family and friends. Finally, she closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for the magic of this garden to bring joy and wonder to my village, so that everyone can feel the same happiness and wonder I feel now." The Tree of Wishes glowed softly as Lila spoke her wish. The leaves rustled, and the air seemed to hum with a gentle energy. Lyra smiled warmly at Lila. "Your wish is a beautiful one," Lyra said. "It is granted. The magic of the garden will now touch the hearts of your village." As Lila turned to leave, the garden seemed to embrace her with a warm, glowing light. She stepped back through the gate, which closed gently behind her, leaving her with a sense of peace and fulfillment. In the days that followed, the village began to change in wonderful ways. The fields flourished with vibrant flowers, the animals seemed to sing with joy, and the villagers found themselves smiling and laughing more than they had in years. The magic of the enchanted garden had spread its wonder to their lives, and the village was once again filled with the beauty and joy that Lila had wished for. And as for Lila, she never stopped believing in magic. She knew that it was not just in gardens or fairies, but in the dreams and kindness that lived in every heart. And so, the village thrived, always remembering the girl who believed in magic and made a wish for the happiness of others. And they all lived happily ever after. In the heart of the enchanted forest, where ancient trees whispered secrets and magical creatures roamed freely, there was a small village named Everwood. Everwood was known for its enchanting beauty and its mysterious moonlit lake, which was said to hold a magical secret. Each month, on the night of the full moon, a soft, melodious tune would rise from the lake, captivating anyone who heard it. The source of the melody was unknown, and despite many villagers' attempts to discover its origin, no one had succeeded. The legend spoke of a magical night when the melody would reveal its secrets to a heart pure and true. In this village lived a young girl named Elara, known for her love of music and her kind heart. Elara had always been drawn to the moonlit lake and its mysterious melody. She believed that the melody was a gift and was determined to uncover its source. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara made her way to the edge of the moonlit lake. The lake was bathed in silver light, and the melody began to drift through the air, more enchanting than ever. Elara closed her eyes and let the music wash over her, feeling its magic in her heart. Determined to uncover the secret, Elara sat by the lake and sang along with the melody. Her voice blended with the music, creating a harmony that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the lake. As she sang, she noticed a soft glow beneath the water's surface. Suddenly, a gentle ripple spread across the lake, and a shimmering figure emerged. It was a beautiful water nymph named Lyra, with flowing hair that sparkled like moonlight and eyes as deep as the lake itself. "You have a pure heart and a love for music," Lyra said, her voice like a soft breeze. "The melody you hear is a gift from the Moonlight Muse, a magical being who dwells within the lake. Each full moon, the muse sings a melody that can only be heard by those who truly appreciate its beauty." Elara's eyes widened with wonder. "Can you tell me more about the Moonlight Muse?" Lyra smiled. "The Moonlight Muse is a guardian of the lake and the protector of harmony in the enchanted forest. Long ago, the muse created the melody to bring peace and joy to those who listened. However, the muse's power has waned over time, and the melody has become harder to hear." Elara felt a surge of empathy for the muse. "Is there a way I can help?" Lyra's expression grew serious. "To restore the muse's power, you must embark on a journey to the heart of the enchanted forest and find the Crystal of Harmony. This crystal has the power to renew the muse's magic and restore the melody to its full glory." Elara agreed to undertake the quest. Lyra guided her to the edge of the forest, where the path to the heart of the forest began. The forest was filled with magical creatures and enchanted wonders, but Elara's resolve and kindness shone brightly, guiding her through each challenge she faced. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Elara encountered a wise old owl named Orion, who offered her guidance. "To find the Crystal of Harmony, you must pass 3 trials," Orion explained. "The first trial is to find the hidden grove, where the crystal is kept. The second trial is to prove your bravery by facing your greatest fear. The third trial is to show your compassion by helping those in need." Elara followed Orion's advice and embarked on the trials. She used her musical talent to find the hidden grove, where the crystal was guarded by an illusionary maze. By singing a lullaby that resonated with the forest's magic, she revealed the true path to the crystal. For the second trial, Elara faced her greatest fear, being alone and lost. With courage and determination, she reminded herself of her purpose and sang a song of hope and bravery, overcoming her fear. For the final trial, Elara encountered a group of lost forest creatures who needed help finding their way home. She guided them with kindness and music, showing her compassion and earning their gratitude. At last, Elara reached the Crystal of Harmony. She carefully picked it up, feeling its warmth and magic. With the crystal in hand, she returned to the moonlit lake. As she approached, the lake began to shimmer and glow with renewed brilliance. Lyra appeared once more, and Elara placed the crystal in the lake's heart. A brilliant light enveloped the lake, and the Moonlight Muse emerged, its presence filling the air with a harmonious melody that resonated throughout the enchanted forest. The Muse's song was now more enchanting and powerful than ever, bringing peace and joy to all who heard it. Elara had restored the Muse's magic, and the melody continued to inspire and uplift the village of Everwood. The villagers celebrated the return of the magical melody, and Elara's bravery and kindness became the stuff of legend. From that day on, the moonlit lake remained a beacon of harmony and enchantment, a reminder of the magic that could be found in the purest of hearts. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara loved to paint more than anything in the world. She would spend hours each day drawing pictures of the things she saw around her, the bright flowers in the fields, the tall trees in the forest, and the sparkling stream that ran through the village. But Elara was poor, and all she had was a few pieces of old paper and a worn-out paintbrush. One day, as Elara was walking through the forest, she stumbled upon a small, hidden glade she had never seen before. In the middle of the glade was a large, ancient tree with a thick trunk and branches that stretched up to the sky. Curious, Elara walked closer and noticed something glinting in the sunlight near the roots of the tree. It was a beautiful, golden paintbrush. Elara picked up the paintbrush, marveling at its smooth handle and fine bristles. It felt warm in her hand, almost as if it were alive. Without thinking, she dipped it into the small jar of paint she always carried with her and began to paint on a rock near the tree. To her amazement, the moment the paintbrush touched the rock, the picture she painted came to life. She had drawn a bird, and as soon as she finished, the bird hopped off the rock and flew away into the sky, chirping happily. Elara could hardly believe her eyes. She looked at the golden paintbrush in wonder. "This must be a magical paintbrush," she whispered to herself. Excitedly, Elara ran back to the village, her mind racing with possibilities. She began to paint pictures of all the things her village needed: fresh fruit in the orchards, new clothes for the children, and sturdy houses for the families. And as soon as she finished each painting, the objects sprang to life, exactly as she had imagined them. The villagers were overjoyed. "Elara has a magic touch," they exclaimed. "She can create anything with her paintbrush." Word of Elara's magical paintbrush spread quickly, and soon people from other villages began to visit her, asking for her help. Elara was happy to paint for them, creating all kinds of wonderful things to make their lives better. She painted flowing rivers in dry lands, lush gardens in barren fields, and warm blankets for the coldest nights. The people were grateful, and Elara's village became a place of abundance and happiness. But as Elara continued to use the paintbrush, something strange began to happen. Each time she painted, she felt a little more tired, and her paintings became harder to bring to life. The magic of the paintbrush was fading. One evening, as Elara was resting under the same ancient tree where she had found the paintbrush, she heard a soft voice. "Elara, my dear, you have used the paintbrush well, but its magic is not infinite." Startled, Elara looked around and saw the ancient tree glowing softly. "Who's there?" she asked. "I am the spirit of the forest," the voice replied. The paintbrush was a gift from the forest to help those in need. But magic must be used wisely. If it is used too often, it will lose its power. Elara felt a pang of sadness. "But I only wanted to help," she said. "And you have," the spirit of the forest said kindly. "But remember, true magic comes from within, not from a brush or paint. The greatest gifts are those that come from the heart: kindness, love, and the willingness to share with others." Elara nodded, understanding now what the spirit meant. She had used the paintbrush to create many wonderful things, but the real magic was in the way it had brought people together and made them happy. The next morning, Elara decided to use the paintbrush one last time. she painted a beautiful garden in the center of the village, with flowers of every color and trees that would bear fruit for years to come. As she finished the painting, she felt the last of the paintbrush's magic flow out, and it transformed into a simple wooden brush, just like the one she had started with. The villagers gathered around the new garden, marveling at its beauty. "This is Alara's greatest gift," they said. "A place where we can all come together and enjoy the beauty of nature." Alara smiled, knowing that even though the paintbrush was no longer magical, the village was still full of magic, because of the love and kindness they shared with one another. From that day on, Alara continued to paint with her simple brush, creating beautiful pictures that brought joy to everyone who saw them. And though the objects she painted no longer came to life, the happiness she spread was magic enough. The end. In a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, lived a young girl named Era. Era had a deep love for the stars, spending each night gazing up at the sky with wonder and dreaming of the magical places beyond. One evening, as Era was lying on a grassy hill, she noticed something unusual, a shimmering bridge made of stardust arching across the night sky. It seemed to glow with a gentle, inviting light. Curious and excited, Era decided to follow the stardust bridge to see where it led. As she stepped onto the bridge, it felt soft beneath her feet, like walking on clouds. The bridge sparkled with every step she took, leading her higher and higher into the sky. Era felt a rush of excitement and wonder as she climbed higher than she had ever imagined. After what seemed like an eternity of sparkling steps, she reached the end of the bridge, arriving in a magical land called Celestia. The land was filled with floating islands, glittering rivers of light, and trees with leaves made of pure crystal. The sky was a swirling tapestry of colors, and the air was filled with the sweet sound of celestial music. Era was greeted by a friendly guide, a wise old star sprite named Orion. With twinkling eyes and a gentle smile, Orion explained that Celestia was a realm of dreams and magic, where wishes were granted and stars were born. However, the land was in great peril. An ancient spell had been cast by the sorceress Noctara, which caused the stars to lose their light and the balance of Celestia to waver. Orion revealed that to restore the light and balance to Celestia, Era needed to find 3 magical star crystals hidden in different corners of the realm. Each crystal had a unique power and was guarded by a challenge that required bravery, kindness, and cleverness. The first crystal, the Crystal of Courage, was hidden in the Forest of Echoes. The forest was dense and filled with echoing sounds that could disorient anyone who entered. Era ventured into the forest, where she faced her fear of the unknown. By trusting her heart and following the echoes of her own courage, she discovered the Crystal of Courage hidden in a shimmering blade. The second crystal, the Crystal of Kindness, was located in the Lake of Reflections. The lake's surface was covered with illusions that showed the darkest fears and hopes of those who looked into it. Era had to navigate through these illusions and show true kindness to a lost and frightened swan. By helping the swan find its way home, she received the Crystal of Kindness from the depths of the lake. The final crystal, the Crystal of Wisdom, was found in the Tower of Stars, which reached up to the highest point in Celestia. The tower was filled with ancient riddles and puzzles that tested one's wisdom. Era used her knowledge and intuition to solve the riddles and reached the top of the tower, where she discovered the Crystal of Wisdom glowing brightly. With all 3 crystals in hand, Era returned to Orion. Together, they placed the crystals in a celestial altar at the center of Celestia. The crystals began to radiate a brilliant light, and the stars in the sky shimmered back to life. The balance of Celestia was restored, and the realm was filled with renewed magic and harmony. Orion thanked Era for her bravery and kindness. As a token of gratitude, he gifted her a small, silver star pendant that would allow her to visit Celestia whenever she wished. The pendant would also serve as a reminder of the adventure and the lessons learned along the way. Era stepped back onto the Stardust Bridge, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. As she descended back to her village, the bridge gently faded away behind her, leaving only the twinkling stars above as a memory. From that day on, Era carried the silver star pendant with her, cherishing the magical adventure she had experienced. She continued to gaze at the stars with wonder, knowing that beyond them lay a realm of dreams and magic waiting to be discovered. And so, the tale of Aira and the Stardust Bridge became a beloved story in her village, inspiring others to follow their dreams and find the magic within themselves. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant kingdom named Everglade, where magical creatures roamed and the skies were always clear, there lived a young girl named Luna. Luna had a special gift: she could communicate with animals. Her village loved her dearly for her kindness and the way she helped heal sick creatures and guide lost travelers. One day, as Luna was walking through the enchanted woods, she heard a soft, distressed cry. Following the sound, she found a small, golden fox with a hurt paw. The fox looked up at her with big, sad eyes. "Please, help me," the fox pleaded. "I am the guardian of the Moonstone, but I've been hurt by a dark spell. Without the Moonstone, our forest will lose its magic." Luna gently examined the fox's paw. "I'll help you. But where can we find the Moonstone?" The fox, whose name was Ember, explained that the Moonstone was hidden deep within the Whispering Cave, a mystical place guarded by ancient enchantments. Only someone with a pure heart could retrieve it, and Ember could no longer protect it. Determined to save the forest, Luna and Ember set off toward the Whispering Cave. They journeyed through dense woods and over sparkling streams, guided by the chirps of helpful birds and the rustle of friendly squirrels. As they approached the cave, they were greeted by a series of challenges designed to test their resolve. The entrance was guarded by a majestic, talking owl named Orion. "To enter the Whispering Cave, you must prove your bravery," Orion said. "Answer this riddle: I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Luna thought hard. She remembered her father's tales of mysterious things in the night. "A cloud," she said confidently. Orion hooted in approval and let them pass. Inside the cave, the walls sparkled with stardust, and the air was filled with a soft, magical hum. But soon, they faced their second trial, a chasm too wide to jump across, with a shimmering bridge that seemed to vanish and reappear. "To cross, you must show trust and teamwork," a gentle voice said. It was the spirit of the cave, an ethereal figure with a flowing gown of moonlight. Luna took a deep breath and held out her hand to Ember. Together, they took a step onto the bridge, trusting that it would hold them. As they walked carefully, the bridge stabilized, and they made it across safely. Finally, they reached the heart of the cave, where the Moonstone rested upon a pedestal of crystal. But guarding it was a dark shadow, a sorcerer who had cast the spell to steal the Moonstone's power. "You cannot take the Moonstone," the sorcerer roared, his voice echoing through the cave. Luna stepped forward, her heart full of courage. "I'm here to restore the magic of the forest. Please, let us return it." The sorcerer, taken aback by Luna's bravery and sincerity, hesitated. Ember, despite his injury, stepped up and spoke with a strong, yet gentle voice. "The forest needs this Moonstone. Without it, all our magic will fade away." Seeing the genuine care in Luna and Ember's eyes, the sorcerer's heart softened. "Very well," he said, "but only if you promise to use its magic wisely and share it with others." "I promise," Luna said earnestly. The sorcerer, realizing the error of his ways, lifted the dark enchantment. The Moonstone glowed brightly, its light filling the cave with warmth. Luna took the Moonstone carefully and thanked the sorcerer for his change of heart. With the Moonstone in hand, Luna and Ember made their way back to the forest. As they emerged from the cave, the forest came alive with color and magic once again. The trees shimmered with golden leaves, and flowers bloomed with vibrant hues. The forest creatures gathered around Luna and Ember, celebrating their return. The villagers of Everglade rejoiced at the forest's revival. Luna was hailed as a hero, not just for retrieving the Moonstone, but for showing kindness and bravery. The forest's magic flourished, and the creatures of Everglade thrived once more. Luna continued her adventures, always guided by her love for nature and the lessons she had learned. And though she faced many more challenges, she always remembered the journey that taught her the true meaning of courage, teamwork, and the power of a pure heart. And so, the kingdom of Everglade lived happily ever after, their hearts and woods forever filled with magic and wonder. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and a whispering forest, there was an orchard like no other. The orchard was known far and wide as the Enchanted Orchard. It was said that the fruit from this orchard had magical properties, bringing happiness, wisdom, and even love to those who ate it. However, the orchard was protected by a mystical enchantment that made it impossible to enter without the guidance of the orchard's guardian, a wise old owl named Oliver. Oliver had feathers of silver and eyes that sparkled like stars. He had lived in the orchard for centuries, ensuring that the magic within remained safe and pure. The villagers admired Oliver and respected the magic of the orchard, so they never tried to enter without permission. One crisp autumn morning, a young girl named Eliza, who had recently moved to the village with her family, overheard tales of the Enchanted Orchard. Curious and brave, Eliza decided she wanted to see the orchard for herself. She ventured into the forest and, after much searching, found the entrance to the orchard. A grand, ancient gate covered in ivy stood before her, guarded by Oliver, who was perched solemnly on a branch above. "Hello, Oliver," Eliza called out, her voice full of wonder. "I've heard so much about the Enchanted Orchard. May I enter?" Oliver's eyes twinkled with both amusement and caution. "Entering the Enchanted Orchard is a privilege, young one. It requires a heart that is pure and intentions that are kind. Tell me, what is it you seek?" Eliza thought for a moment. She had heard the orchard could grant wishes, but her wish was not for herself. "I wish to find something to help my mother. She's been feeling sad since we moved here. If I could find something magical, maybe it would cheer her up." Oliver's gaze softened. "A noble wish indeed. Follow me." Oliver led Eliza through the gate and into the orchard. It was a place of wonder, trees with shimmering golden apples, bushes heavy with silver berries, and flowers that glowed softly in the twilight. The air was filled with a sweet, enchanting fragrance. As they walked, Eliza noticed a particularly ancient tree at the center of the orchard. Its bark was a deep, rich brown, and its leaves sparkled as if dusted with stardust. Oliver hovered near the tree and said, "This is the heart tree. It holds the most powerful magic of the orchard. If you are to find something to help your mother, you must ask the heart tree." Eliza approached the tree and gently touched its trunk. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Please, heart tree, help me find something to make my mother happy." The heart tree's leaves rustled softly, and a single, radiant fruit fell from its branches. It was unlike anything Eliza had ever seen, an apple with a brilliant, iridescent glow. Oliver guided her back to the gate with the enchanted apple. "Give this to your mother with all your heart," Oliver instructed. "Its magic is not in the apple itself, but in the love and intention behind it." Eliza thanked Oliver and hurried home. When she presented the glowing apple to her mother, she was astonished. "Where did you find this?" her mother asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Eliza explained the magical orchard and how she wished to make her mother happy. Her mother's heart warmed at the thoughtfulness of her daughter. She took a small bite of the enchanted apple and felt a surge of joy and comfort she hadn't felt in a long time. The magic of the apple did not only lift her spirits but also brought her a newfound appreciation for the beauty around her. The family soon became beloved members of the village, and Eliza's mother found happiness in her new surroundings. From that day on, Eliza and her mother often visited the Enchanted Orchard, where they would sit beneath the heart tree, feeling grateful for the magic that had touched their lives. Oliver the owl remained the steadfast guardian of the orchard, knowing that the true magic lay in the kindness and love that brought people to the gates of his enchanted realm. And so, in the village near the Whispering Forest, the Enchanted Orchard continued to thrive, its magic weaving through the lives of those who approached it with pure hearts and noble wishes. The end. In the heart of a lush and verdant forest, where sunlight danced through the leaves and the air was filled with the melody of birds, stood a grand and ancient oak tree. Known as the Whispering Oak, this tree was said to hold secrets of the forest and have the power to grant one heartfelt wish to those who proved their worth. In a nearby village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn had always been curious about the forest and the Whispering Oak. His family was poor, and they struggled to make ends meet. Finn's greatest wish was to find a way to help his family and bring happiness to his village. One day, as Finn walked through the village, he heard a conversation about the Whispering Oak. The villagers spoke of its magic and how it could grant a single wish to someone with a pure heart. Finn decided that he would journey into the forest and seek the tree's help. The forest path with a small satchel packed with essentials, Finn set out on his journey. The forest was enchanting, with paths lined by vibrant flowers and the air filled with the scent of pine and earth. However, as he ventured deeper, the forest grew denser, and the path became less clear. Finn remembered the stories he had heard about the forest's magic. He knew that to find the Whispering Oak, he would need to solve 3 challenges. The first challenge was to find the hidden path, which was said to be guarded by a mischievous sprite. As he wandered, Finn noticed a small, glowing light flickering among the trees. Following it, he found a tiny sprite perched on a mushroom. The sprite, with a twinkle in its eye, said, "To find the hidden path, you must answer my riddle. Only then will the way be revealed." The riddle the sprite asked, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn thought carefully and then replied, "A joke." The sprite laughed with delight and waved its wand, revealing a narrow, shimmering path leading further into the forest. Finn thanked the sprite and continued along the path. The hidden glade the path led Finn to a serene glade where the second challenge awaited. In the center of the glade was a pool with crystal clear water. Next to the pool was a stone pedestal with a large, ancient book. An ethereal voice spoke from the book, "To pass this challenge, you must offer something of great value to you." Finn took out his most cherished possession, a small locket given to him by his grandmother. He placed it gently on the pedestal and spoke from his heart. "This locket is precious to me, but I offer it in the hope of bringing happiness to my family and village." The book's pages turned by themselves, and a gentle breeze carried the locket back to Finn. The pool's water sparkled, and a pathway appeared that led further into the forest. The Whispering Oak following the new path, Finn arrived at the Whispering Oak. The tree was magnificent, its branches stretching high into the sky, and its leaves rustling softly as if whispering secrets. Finn approached the tree with reverence. The tree's deep voice resonated through the forest. "You have proven your worth with courage and selflessness. What is your wish?" Finn took a deep breath and made his wish. "I wish for my family to prosper and for my village to be happy and thriving." The Whispering Oak's leaves shimmered with a golden light, and a gentle rain began to fall. The rain was magical, and as it touched the earth, it transformed the village into a place of abundance. Fields of crops grew lush and green, and the streams and wells were filled with fresh water. A prosperous village. When Finn returned to the village, he was greeted with astonishment. The once struggling village had turned into a thriving community. The crops were plentiful, and the villagers were joyous and prosperous. Finn's family was overjoyed, and the village celebrated with a grand feast. The villagers hailed Finn as a hero, but he humbly credited the magic of the Whispering Oak. The legacy, the tale of Finn's journey and the Whispering Oak, became a beloved story passed down through generations. The Whispering Oak remained a symbol of hope and the power of selflessness. The forest, once mysterious and challenging, was now a place of wonder and enchantment, and Finn's village continued to thrive, always guided by the magic of the ancient tree. And so, Finn lived a happy life, always cherishing the memory of his adventure and the lesson he learned, that true magic lies in the courage to help others and the heart's ability to wish for the well-being of all. The end. The Star Weaver's secret. In a small, quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there lived a humble woman named Leora. She was known for her exquisite weaving, crafting tapestries that seemed to come alive with every stitch. Leora's creations were not mere decorations, they told stories of dreams and magic, woven from threads of silver and gold. The villagers cherished Leora's work, but they also whispered about an old legend. According to the tale, Leora possessed a secret talent. She was said to be a star weaver, someone who could capture the light of the stars in her threads. This legend was dismissed by many as a mere myth, but it lingered in the hearts of those who longed for a touch of magic in their lives. The mysterious request. One evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the velvet sky, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a tall man with a cloak that shimmered like the night sky and a gentle, knowing smile. He introduced himself as Eric, a traveler from a distant land. Eric sought Leora's help. "I have heard of your incredible talent," he said. "I need a tapestry that holds the light of the rarest star, one that can bring hope and healing to my land, which is suffering from a terrible drought." Leora, intrigued and moved by Eric's story, agreed to help him. Eric handed her a small, ornate box. Inside was a single, radiant star crystal. "This crystal holds the essence of the rarest star," he explained. "It will guide you in your weaving." The enchanted weaving Leora worked tirelessly day and night, using the star crystal to illuminate her loom. As she wove, the thread sparkled with an ethereal light, and the tapestry began to take shape. It depicted a magnificent celestial landscape with stars, moons, and mythical creatures dancing across the fabric. Unbeknownst to Leora, the tapestry was imbued with magic. The star crystal was not only guiding her but also infusing her work with a powerful enchantment. As the final stitch was made, the tapestry shone with a light so pure and brilliant that it seemed to hold the very essence of the night sky. The journey to Eric's land with the tapestry completed, Leora and Eric set out on a journey to his homeland, a distant kingdom suffering from endless drought. The land was parched, and the people's spirits were as dry as the cracked earth beneath their feet. When they arrived, Eric presented the tapestry to the kingdom's rulers and laid it out in the central square. The villagers gathered around, their eyes widening in awe at the tapestry's beauty. As the sun set, the tapestry began to glow softly, reflecting the light of the stars above. The miracle: as the tapestry shimmered in the moonlight, something incredible happened. The tapestry's light began to spread across the kingdom. The barren fields started to green, and the once dry wells began to fill with fresh, sparkling water. The land seemed to come alive with a newfound vitality, and the people rejoiced in their restored fortunes. Leora's heart swelled with joy at witnessing the transformation. She knew that the true magic lay not just in the tapestry but in the hope and unity it inspired. The parting gift: before Leora left, the kingdom's rulers offered her a grand reward, but she humbly declined. Instead, she asked for a single star-shaped gem from their land, a token to remember the journey by. The rulers gladly granted her request, and Leora returned to her village with the precious gem. Leora's village was soon visited by travelers from afar, eager to see the weaver who had brought hope to a distant land. The tale of her bravery and kindness spread far and wide, and her tapestries were revered not only for their beauty but also for the magic they carried within. A lasting legacy. Leora continued to weave, her work now infused with the wisdom and magic she had gained from her journey. The star-shaped gem became a cherished keepsake, a reminder of the power of hope and the difference one person can make. The village flourished, and Leora's legend lived on, inspiring generations to believe in the magic of their own dreams and the possibility of creating light even in the darkest of times. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, Leora's story was woven into the fabric of time, a testament to the magic that lives in the heart of those who dare to dream. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between tall mountains and a dense forest, lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and curious nature. Her grandmother would often tell her stories about the enchanted moonflower, a rare bloom that only appeared once every 100 years in the heart of the Whispering Woods. The moonflower was said to have magical powers. Its petals shimmered like silver, and it could grant a wish to the one who found it under the full moon. For generations, villagers had ventured into the woods, hoping to find the mystical flower, but none had succeeded. Ilara had grown up hearing these tales and had always dreamed of discovering the moonflower herself. One fateful evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Ilara's heart filled with determination. "Tonight is the night," she whispered to herself. With her lantern in hand, she slipped quietly out of her cottage and into the woods. The Whispering Woods were eerie and mysterious. The trees seemed to murmur secrets, and the wind howled softly through the branches. But Ilara was unafraid. She followed a narrow, winding path that her grandmother had described, leading deeper into the forest. The moonlight illuminated her way, casting long shadows on the ground. Hours passed, and Alara began to grow weary. Doubt crept into her mind. Perhaps the moonflower is just a story after all, she thought. But just as she was about to turn back, a soft, silvery glow caught her eye. She turned toward the light and gasped. There, in a small clearing, stood the moonflower. Its petals glistened like stardust, and its stem seemed to pulse with a gentle, magical energy. Alara approached slowly, her heart pounding in her chest. She had found it, the legendary moonflower. As she reached out to touch the delicate petals, a soft voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares to pluck the moonflower?" it asked. Startled, Alara looked around but saw no one. "I am Alara," she said, her voice steady. "I have come to make a wish." The voice responded, "Many have sought the moonflower, but only those with pure intentions may make a wish. What is it that you desire, young one?" Alara thought for a moment. She could wish for anything, riches, power, fame. But none of those things mattered to her. Instead, she remembered her village, which had been suffering from drought for years. The crops were withering, and the people were struggling. She knew what she had to do. "I wish for my village to have abundant rain, so that our crops may grow, and my people will no longer suffer," Alara said, her voice filled with hope. The voice was silent for a moment, and then it spoke again. "Your wish is noble, Alara. The moonflower shall grant it." As the words faded into the night, the petals of the moonflower began to glow even brighter. Suddenly, a beam of light shot up from the flower, reaching toward the sky. The clouds gathered, dark and heavy, and moments later, a gentle rain began to fall. Alara smiled. Her heart filled with joy. She had done it, she had found the moonflower and saved her village. The next morning, when Alara returned to the village, the rain was still falling softly. The villagers rejoiced, for the drought was over. They asked Alara how it had happened, but she simply smiled and said, "Sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of hope and a lot of courage." And from that day on, the Whispering Woods were no longer a place of mystery and fear, but a symbol of hope and wonder. And Alara? She became a legend, just like the moonflower itself. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by lush forests and gentle hills, there lived a young shepherd named Aaron. Aaron was known for his kind heart and melodious flute playing, which brought joy to everyone who heard it. His flute was no ordinary instrument. It had been a gift from his grandmother, who had once been a great musician. It was said to have a bit of magic in it, capable of soothing even the most troubled soul. One day, as Aaron was tending his sheep on the hillside, he noticed an unusual commotion among the animals. They were bleating nervously and huddling together. Aaron followed their gaze and saw a magnificent, golden bird perched on a rock. It was unlike any bird he had ever seen, with shimmering feathers that glowed in the sunlight and eyes that sparkled like precious gems. The bird sang a sorrowful song, and Aaron, moved by its beauty and sadness, played a gentle tune on his flute to comfort it. The bird listened intently and then spoke in a melodious voice, "Thank you for your music, kind shepherd. I am the golden songbird, and I have been cursed by an evil sorceress. She has stolen my voice, and only the music of a pure heart can break the curse." Aaron's heart swelled with compassion. "How can I help you?" he asked. The golden songbird fluttered its wings and replied, "You must journey to the dark forest and find the sorceress's tower. There, you will find a magical crystal that holds my voice. Play your flute before the crystal, and its magic will break the curse." Aaron agreed without hesitation. He bid farewell to his sheep and set off towards the dark forest, guided by the light of the setting sun. As he entered the forest, the trees seemed to close in around him, and an eerie silence filled the air. He walked cautiously, his flute ready in case he needed to play a calming tune. After hours of walking, Aaron came across an old woman sitting by the side of the path. She looked frail and tired. "Young man, could you spare some food for an old woman?" she asked. Aaron, always willing to help, gave her some bread and cheese from his pack. The old woman smiled and said, "Thank you, kind boy. Take this lantern. It will light your way through the darkest paths." With a wave of her hand, a small, glowing lantern appeared in Aaron's hand. Aaron thanked her and continued his journey. The lantern's light pierced through the darkness, revealing a hidden path that led deeper into the forest. He followed the path until he reached a clearing, where a towering structure loomed, the sorceress's tower. Gathering his courage, Aaron approached the tower and found the entrance guarded by a fierce-looking wolf. The wolf bared its teeth, ready to attack. Aaron quickly played a soothing melody on his flute, and the wolf's aggression melted away. It lay down peacefully, allowing Aaron to pass. Inside the tower, Aaron climbed a spiraling staircase that seemed to go on forever. At the top, he entered a grand chamber filled with shimmering crystals. In the center of the room stood a large crystal, glowing with an ethereal light. Aaron approached it and began to play his flute. As the sweet notes filled the chamber, the crystal began to vibrate. The music grew louder and more enchanting, resonating with the magic in the crystal. Suddenly, a brilliant light burst forth, and the crystal shattered. The golden songbird's voice, trapped for so long, was released and filled the room with its beautiful song. Just then, the evil sorceress appeared, enraged. "How dare you break my spell?" she screamed. But before she could harm Aaron, the golden songbird flew to his side. With a powerful flap of its wings, it created a gust of wind that knocked the sorceress off her feet. The sorceress, defeated by the combined power of the songbird's magic and Aaron's pure heart, vanished into thin air. The golden songbird, now free, sang a song of gratitude. "You have saved me, brave shepherd. Your kindness and courage have restored my voice. As a token of my gratitude, I grant you a wish." Aaron thought for a moment and said, "I wish for peace and prosperity for my village and the happiness of all who live there." The golden songbird nodded and granted his wish. The village of Aaron's birth flourished, becoming a place of harmony and joy. Aaron returned home, where he was hailed as a hero. His music continued to bring happiness to everyone, and he always carried the memory of his adventure and the golden songbird in his heart. And so, Aaron and his village lived happily ever after, their lives forever enriched by the power of music, kindness, and a brave heart. In a land where the moonlight danced on the silver waters of a grand lake, there was a hidden kingdom known only to those with the purest of hearts. This kingdom, called Lumina, was a place of wonder where the trees glowed softly, and the flowers sang lullabies to the stars. Its ruler was Queen Seraphina, a kind and wise queen who possessed a magical moonstone that kept the kingdom bathed in eternal twilight. The kingdom's peace was threatened when the moonstone, which had been safeguarded for centuries, began to dim. The once brilliant light now flickered weakly. Queen Seraphina, worried about the kingdom's future, summoned her most trusted advisor, a wise old owl named Orin. "Orin," the queen said, "the moonstone's light is fading, and with it, the magic of Lumina is weakening. We must find the source of the problem before it's too late." Orin, with his deep knowledge of ancient lore, explained that the only way to restore the moonstone's power was to find the lost starlight crystal, which had been hidden long ago to protect it from dark forces. To find the crystal, they would need to follow 3 clues left by the kingdom's founders. Queen Seraphina decided to seek the help of the bravest and kindest person she knew, a young girl named Arya who lived on the edge of the forest. Arya had always shown a deep love for the natural world and had an adventurous spirit. Arya agreed to help and set out on her quest with Orin guiding her. The first clue was hidden in the Whispering Woods, where the trees were said to hold secrets in their rustling leaves. The Whispering Woods and the Whispering Woods, the trees whispered directions and riddles. Arya listened carefully to the rustling leaves and followed the path they revealed. She soon came upon an ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the trunk, she found an old parchment with a riddle, asterisk, "In the valley where shadows fall, seek the light that never dies. Only then will you find the way to the crystal's hidden guise." Asterisk. Arya and Orin interpreted the riddle to mean that they needed to go to a valley where a perpetual shadow was cast by an eternal mountain. The Valley of Eternal Shadows. They traveled to the Valley of Eternal Shadows, where the towering mountain cast a permanent shade. At the valley's heart was a small, hidden cave. Inside, they discovered a glowing orb resting on a pedestal. The orb was known as the Eternal Light, and it provided them with the next clue, asterisk, when the moon's tears are seen, find the mirror that reflects the unseen. There lies the path to the crystal, hidden where dreams are woven. Asterisk, the mirror of dreams. Following the clue, Arya and Oren journeyed to the Dreamweaver's Glen, a place known for its magical mirrors that could reflect not just appearances but also hidden truths. They searched among the mirrors and found one that showed a vision of a moonlit lake, where the starlight crystal was said to be hidden. The vision guided them to a tranquil lake, with the moonlight casting an enchanting glow over the water. At the lake's center was a small island, and on it stood a solitary, ancient pedestal. As Arya and Oren approached the pedestal, they saw the starlight crystal resting upon it, glowing softly but not as brightly as it should. They realized that the crystal's light needed to be rekindled by the moonstone's power. Arya took out the moonstone from her pouch and held it up. The crystal's light and the moonstone's light began to intertwine, merging and growing brighter. The lake shimmered with renewed magic, and the kingdom of Lumina began to glow once more. Returned to Lumina with the starlight crystal restored, Arya and Oren returned to Lumina. Queen Seraphina welcomed them with immense gratitude. She placed the crystal beside the moonstone, and its light became radiant again, filling the kingdom with a warm, magical glow. The kingdom's magic was revitalized, and the once fading moonstone now shone brighter than ever. The trees, flowers, and waters of Lumina sparkled with renewed life. The kingdom celebrated Arya's bravery and kindness, and she was honored as a hero of Lumina. Arya returned to her home with a heart full of joy and the knowledge that even the smallest light can make a great difference. The story of her quest became a cherished tale in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, friendship, and the magic that can be found in every heart. And so, under the shimmering light of the moon and the starlight crystal, Lumina continued to thrive, its magic and beauty preserved for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there was a village called Linares. The people of Linares were known for their love of the moon, which always shone brightly over their village, casting a silver light that made the nights as beautiful as the days. The villagers believed that the moonlight was a gift from the Moon Queen, a mysterious and kind ruler who lived in a palace made of silver and crystal on the moon itself. One night, however, something strange happened. The moon did not rise, and the sky remained dark. The villagers waited and waited, but the moonlight never came. The once lively village grew quiet and cold, and the people of Linares became worried. Without the moonlight, their crops wouldn't grow, their rivers would dry up, and the village would fall into despair. In the village lived a young girl named Alina, who was known for her bravery and kind heart. Alina loved the moon more than anything, and she couldn't bear to see her village suffer. Determined to find out what had happened to the moon, Alina decided to climb the tallest mountain in the kingdom, the Moon Spire, where she believed she could speak to the Moon Queen herself. Alina packed a small bag with some food, a warm cloak, and a lantern, and set off on her journey. The path to the Moon Spire was steep and treacherous, but Alina was not afraid. She climbed higher and higher, through dense forests and across rocky cliffs, until she reached the peak of the mountain. There, at the very top, she found a hidden staircase made of silver, leading up into the sky. Without hesitation, Alina began to climb the staircase. As she ascended, the air grew colder, and the stars seemed to come closer, twinkling brightly around her. Finally, after what felt like hours, she reached the top and found herself standing before the gates of the Moon Queen's palace. The palace was even more magnificent than Alina had imagined. Its walls sparkled like diamonds, and the towers reached up into the stars. The gates opened silently as Alina approached, and she stepped inside, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. In the grand hall of the palace, Alina found the Moon Queen, sitting on a throne made of moonstone, her gown flowing like liquid silver. Her hair was as dark as the night sky, and her eyes shone with the light of 1,000 stars. But the Moon Queen looked sad, and Alina could see that something was terribly wrong. "Your Majesty," Alina said, bowing deeply, "I have come from the village of Linares." the moonlight has disappeared, and my village is in great need. Please, tell me what has happened." The Moon Queen sighed, her voice soft and melodic. "Brave Alina, the moonlight has indeed been lost. A dark sorcerer named Malakar, who despises all things light and beautiful, has stolen the moon's heart, a magical gem that gives the moon its light. Without the moon's heart, the moon cannot shine, and darkness will spread across the land." Alina's heart sank, but she did not lose hope. "Where is this sorcerer, Malakar? How can we retrieve the moon's heart and restore the moonlight?" The Moon Queen smiled faintly at Alina's determination. "Malakar hides in the Shadow Realm, a place of eternal darkness far beyond this world. It is a dangerous place, filled with creatures of the night. But if you are willing, I can give you the Silver Star, a star with the power to guide you through the darkness and protect you from harm." Alina nodded without hesitation. "I will do whatever it takes to bring back the moonlight." The Moon Queen waved her hand, and a small, glowing star appeared, hovering in the air before Alina. It was warm and bright, filling her with courage. "Take this, Alina," the Moon Queen said, "and may the light of the Silver Star guide you on your journey." With the Silver Star in hand, Alina set off for the Shadow Realm. The path was dark and filled with shadows that seemed to reach out to her, but the Silver Star lit the way, keeping the darkness at bay. After a long and arduous journey, she finally reached the entrance to the Shadow Realm, a massive, black gate guarded by two fearsome creatures with glowing red eyes. As Alina approached, the creature snarled and blocked her path. But Alina held up the Silver Star, and its light grew brighter, forcing the creatures to retreat. The gate creaked open, and Alina stepped into the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm was a place of nightmares, with twisted trees and a sky that was pitch black. The air was cold, and the only sound was the distant echo of Malakar's cruel laughter. Alina felt a shiver run down her spine, but she held the Silver Star close, its light giving her the strength to continue. Deep within the Shadow Realm, in a dark fortress made of obsidian, Alina found Malakar. He was a tall, menacing figure with eyes as dark as the void and a wicked smile. In his hand, he held the moon's heart, its light dim and flickering. "So, the little girl from Linares has come to face me," Malakar sneered. "You think you can defeat me and take back the moon's heart? You are no match for my power." Alina stood her ground, the Silver Star glowing brightly in her hand. "I am not afraid of you, Malakar. The moonlight belongs to the people of Linares, and I will do whatever it takes to restore it." Malakar laughed, but as he did, the Silver Star's light grew even brighter, filling the fortress with a blinding light. Malakar screamed in pain, dropping the moon's heart as he tried to shield his eyes from the light. Seizing the opportunity, Alina rushed forward and grabbed the moon's heart. As soon as her hand touched the gem, the Silver Star's light merged with the moon's heart, restoring its full brilliance. The darkness in the Shadow Realm began to dissolve, and Malakar's power faded until he was nothing more than a shadow himself. Alina hurried back to the Moon Queen's palace, the moon's heart shining brightly in her hands. When she arrived, the Moon Queen stood waiting, her face filled with joy and gratitude. "You have done it, Alina," the Moon Queen said, taking the moon's heart from her. "You have restored the light of the moon and saved your village. You are truly a hero." Alina blushed, but her heart was filled with happiness. The Moon Queen placed the moon's heart back into the sky, and at once, the moon began to shine again, its light more beautiful than ever before. The village of Linares was saved, and the people rejoiced as the moonlight returned, casting its silver glow over the land. The Moon Queen offered Alina a place in her palace, but Alina chose to return to her village, where she continued to tend to her garden and care for her people. But every night, as the moon rose high in the sky, Alina would look up and smile, knowing that she had played a part in bringing its light back to the world. And so, the village of Linares thrived under the gentle glow of the moon, its people forever grateful to the brave young girl who had restored their beloved moonlight. The end. Once upon a time, in the mystical kingdom of Luminera, there was a quaint village called Starhaven, nestled between towering mountains and a shimmering lake. The villagers lived harmoniously, their lives intertwined with the magic that pulsed through the land. At the heart of Starhaven was a young girl named Elara, known for her adventurous spirit and her deep connection with nature. Elara lived with her parents, who were both skilled artisans. Her mother, Lyra, was a weaver who created tapestries that depicted the history of their land, and her father, Orion, was a blacksmith who forged tools and ornaments with a touch of enchantment. Elara's best friend was a spirited fox named Ember, who often accompanied her on her explorations. One crisp autumn morning, Elara and Ember discovered an ancient book hidden in the hollow of a grand oak tree at the edge of the village. The book spoke of the lost star, a magical gem that had the power to illuminate the darkest nights and bring hope to the hearts of all who beheld it. According to the book, the lost star lay hidden deep within the enchanted forest, protected by powerful guardians and challenging trials. Inspired by the tale, Elara decided that she must find the lost star and bring its light back to her village, which had recently been plagued by an unusual period of darkness and despair. With Ember by her side, she set off on her journey into the enchanted forest. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and their leaves whispered ancient secrets. They soon encountered their first challenge, a wide, rushing river with no bridge in sight. As Elara pondered how to cross, a graceful swan glided towards them. "To cross the river, you must solve my riddle," the swan said. "What is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Elara thought for a moment and then replied, "The future." The swan nodded in approval and stretched out its wings, creating a bridge of shimmering feathers over the water. Elara and Ember crossed safely and continued their journey. Soon, they came upon a grove of ancient trees, where a wise old owl perched high in the branches. "To pass through this grove, you must show wisdom," the owl hooted. "Tell me, what can fill a room but takes up no space?" Elara pondered the question, then answered, "Light." The owl's eyes gleamed with approval, and the dense trees parted, revealing a clear path. As they followed the path, they reached a beautiful meadow where a unicorn with a shimmering mane stood. The unicorn looked at them with sad, knowing eyes. "My magic is fading, and I cannot guard the lost star," the unicorn said. "To find the star, you must show compassion. Can you help me?" Elara knelt by the unicorn and used her mother's teachings to gather herbs and create a healing potion. She offered it to the unicorn, who drank it gratefully. Immediately, the unicorn's strength was restored, and it shone with radiant light. "You have shown great kindness," the unicorn said. "Climb onto my back, and I will take you to the lost star." Elara and Ember climbed onto the unicorn, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden glade. At the center of the glade stood a magnificent crystal pedestal, upon which rested the lost star. Its light was so brilliant that it seemed to chase away every shadow. However, as Elara reached for the star, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was Malachar, a sorcerer who had long sought the power of the lost star for his own nefarious purposes. "You cannot take the star," Malachar snarled, his eyes blazing with fury. "It belongs to me." Elara stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The lost star belongs to those who seek to bring light and hope, not to those who would use it for darkness. Malachar raised his staff, ready to strike with dark magic, but Ember darted forward and knocked the staff from his grasp. In the ensuing struggle, Elara seized the lost star and held it high. A brilliant light burst forth, dispelling the shadows and banishing Malachar from the glade. With the lost star in her hands, Elara made a wish for the darkness over her village to be lifted and for hope to be restored. The star's light enveloped the glade, spreading throughout the forest and beyond, illuminating the entire kingdom of Luminera. Elara and Ember returned to Starhaven as heroes. The villagers celebrated their bravery and the return of the lost star, which was placed in the center of the village to continue its work of bringing light and hope. Elara's name became a legend, inspiring generations with her courage and compassion. And so, the village of Starhaven flourished under the watchful eyes of its brave young hero, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled between whispering woods and the sparkling lake, there lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her curiosity and her love for stargazing. Every night, she would sit by the lake, marveling at the constellations and dreaming of adventures among the stars. One night, while gazing up at the sky, Isla noticed something unusual, a brilliant, silver lantern floating down from the moon. It glowed softly, casting a gentle light across the dark waters of the lake. Mesmerized, Isla watched as the lantern descended and landed softly on the water's surface. Unable to contain her excitement, Isla waded into the lake and retrieved the lantern. As she held it in her hands, she felt a warm, comforting glow emanating from within. The lantern had delicate carvings of stars and moons, and it seemed to hum with a magical energy. That night, as Isla prepared for bed, she placed the lantern on her bedside table. To her amazement, the lantern began to glow brighter, and a soft, melodious voice echoed from within. "Greetings, kind-hearted soul. I am the moonlit lantern, and I hold the power to grant a single wish. To make your wish come true, you must use it for the greater good." Isla was stunned but quickly gathered her thoughts. She had always wished for something that could help others, something that could bring joy and peace to her village. After much contemplation, she made her wish. "I wish for the village to be filled with happiness and for the well-being of everyone who lives here." The lantern's glow intensified, and a shimmering light enveloped Isla. "Your wish is granted," the lantern said. "But remember, true happiness comes from within and from sharing your heart with others." The next morning, the village awoke to a miraculous sight. The once ordinary fields and gardens were now filled with vibrant flowers, lush fruits, and sparkling streams. The village square was transformed into a stunning place of joy, with colorful banners and cheerful music filling the air. The villagers were astonished and overjoyed. They gathered around Isla, who explained the story of the moonlit lantern and the wish she had made. Inspired by Isla's selflessness, the villagers worked together to maintain the newfound beauty and to create a place of harmony and happiness for all. In the days that followed, the village thrived like never before. The once modest homes were now surrounded by blooming gardens, and the lake sparkled with a magical light that seemed to dance with the stars. People from nearby villages came to visit, and the small village of Isla became known far and wide as a place of wonder and delight. Isla continued to gaze at the stars every night, grateful for the magic that had brought so much joy to her home. She often found herself by the lake, where she had first discovered the lantern, feeling a deep sense of contentment and connection to the stars. One clear night, as she sat by the lake, the moonlit lantern appeared once more. The same soft, melodious voice spoke to her. "Dear Isla, your wish has brought happiness to many, and your heart has shown great kindness. For this, you are now the guardian of the moonlit lantern. Use its magic wisely and share its light with others in need." Isla accepted the responsibility with grace and continued to use the lantern's magic to help those who needed it most. The village of Isla remained a beacon of joy and kindness, its story becoming a cherished legend among the stars. And so, Isla's life was filled with purpose and fulfillment, and her village thrived under the magic of the moonlit lantern. The tale of the lantern and the kind-hearted girl was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that can be found in the simplest of wishes. And they all lived happily ever after. The lost kingdom of the Starlight Lake. Once upon a time, in a distant land where the mountains kissed the sky and the valleys were shrouded in mist, there was a magical lake known as Starlight Lake. This lake was famous for its sparkling waters that reflected the night sky, even during the day. Legends told of a hidden kingdom beneath its surface, a kingdom filled with wonders and magic. In a small village near the lake lived a kind-hearted girl named Eliana. She was known for her love of adventure and her unyielding curiosity. Every evening, she would sit by the lake, watching the stars dance upon its surface and dreaming of what lay beneath the shimmering waters. One evening, as the sun began to set and the stars started to twinkle, Eliana noticed something unusual. The surface of the lake began to glow with a soft, golden light, and a gentle breeze carried a melody that seemed to come from deep within the water. Her heart raced with excitement. Could this be the moment the legend spoke of? Determined to discover the truth, Eliana took a deep breath and waded into the lake. As she moved further into the water, she noticed that the golden light grew brighter and the melody grew clearer. The water was warm and comforting, and she felt as though she were floating on a cloud. Suddenly, the surface of the lake began to part, revealing a hidden path of luminous stones leading downward. Eliana followed the path, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she descended, the light around her grew more dazzling, and the melody became a harmonious chorus. At the bottom of the path, Eliana found herself in a magnificent underwater kingdom. The palace was made of shimmering coral, and the walls were adorned with pearls and precious gems. Schools of colorful fish swam gracefully through the water, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming underwater flowers. A regal figure approached her, a mermaid queen with flowing, silver hair and a crown of sea glass. "Welcome, brave traveler," the queen said with a warm smile. "I am Queen Leora of the Lost Kingdom of Starlight Lake. You are the first to discover our realm in many years. What brings you here?" Eliana bowed respectfully. "I have always been fascinated by the legends of your kingdom. I wish to see if they were true and to learn more about the magic that lies beneath Starlight Lake." Queen Leora's eyes sparkled with approval. "Your curiosity and bravery have brought you here. We are a kingdom of magic and harmony, but we have faced a grave problem. A dark spell has been cast upon our realm, causing our magic to fade and our kingdom to wither. Only a heart of pure intent can lift the spell and restore our kingdom to its former glory." Eliana's eyes widened. "How can I help?" The queen handed her a small, ornate vial filled with a glowing liquid. "This is the essence of the moon's light. It has the power to break the spell, but it must be poured into the Heartstone, a magical gem that lies hidden in the depths of our kingdom. The Heartstone is protected by enchantments and will require both courage and wisdom to reach." Eliana accepted the vial with determination. "I will do my best." Guided by the queen's instructions, Eliana ventured deeper into the kingdom. She encountered various challenges along the way: cunning sea serpents, intricate puzzles, and deceptive illusions. With each challenge, she relied on her courage and her keen sense of right and wrong. Eventually, Eliana reached the chamber where the Heartstone was kept. It was a grand, circular room with a pedestal in the center, upon which rested the Heartstone. The stone was dark and dull, its magic seemingly drained. Eliana approached the Heartstone and carefully poured the essence of the moon's light over it. The liquid seeped into the stone, and a brilliant light erupted from the Heartstone, filling the room with a warm, golden glow. The enchantments that protected the Heartstone dissolved, and the kingdom's magic began to flow back, rejuvenating the coral palace and the underwater gardens. Queen Leora appeared beside Eliana, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have restored our kingdom's magic and saved us from darkness. For your bravery and pure heart, we offer you a gift. Whenever you need us, you may call upon the magic of the Lost Kingdom, and we will come to your aid." Eliana smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Thank you, Queen Leora. I will cherish this gift." With a final farewell, Eliana made her way back to the surface, leaving the enchanted realm behind. As she emerged from the lake, the golden light faded, and the lake's surface returned to its serene, sparkling beauty. Back in her village, Eliana shared the tale of the Lost Kingdom and the magic she had witnessed. The villagers marveled at her bravery and the wonders she had seen. Though the kingdom was hidden from view, the magic of Starlight Lake continued to inspire and protect the village, a reminder of the courage and kindness that could overcome even the darkest of spells. And so, the legend of the Lost Kingdom of Starlight Lake lived on, and Eliana's story became a cherished part of village lore, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies not just in enchanted realms, but in the hearts of those who seek to make the world a better place. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, there was a tale about an enchanted lantern. This lantern, made of delicate silver and adorned with glowing gems, was said to have the power to grant one wish to anyone who found it. However, it could only be found by someone with a pure heart. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. He was known for his generosity and bravery. One evening, as the sun set behind the forest, casting a golden hue over the land, Finn heard a whispering breeze that spoke of the enchanted lantern. Excited by the tale, Finn decided to seek out this magical object, hoping to use its power to help others. With a small satchel of provisions, Finn set out into the forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches creating a canopy that allowed only slivers of sunlight to filter through. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. "Greetings, young Finn," the owl hooted softly. "What brings you to this enchanted forest?" Finn bowed respectfully. "I seek the enchanted lantern that is said to grant one wish. I wish to use its power to bring happiness to my village." The owl's eyes twinkled. "A noble quest. To find the lantern, you must first solve 3 challenges that test your heart." With a nod, Finn followed the owl's instructions and soon arrived at a serene glade. There, a sparkling stream flowed gently, and beside it stood a large, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. "Welcome, Finn," the tree rumbled. "To proceed, you must solve my riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside." "What am I?" Finn thought hard and then smiled. "A piano." The tree's face smiled back. "Well done. You may continue." As Finn walked further, he came across a meadow filled with flowers of every color. Among them was a small, golden chest guarded by a mischievous squirrel. "To open this chest," the squirrel said, "you must solve my riddle. I can be crabbed, made, told, and played." "What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and then answered, "A joke." The squirrel nodded and handed Finn a small, silver key. "You are on the right path. Use this key wisely." Finn thanked the squirrel and continued on his journey. Eventually, he arrived at a serene, moonlit pond. At its center was a floating lily pad with a glowing lantern resting upon it. However, the lantern was surrounded by a circle of enchanted mist. Suddenly, a beautiful fairy appeared. To take the lantern, you must answer one final question. What is the most valuable thing you can give to someone? Finn thought about his family, friends, and the village he loved. "The most valuable thing you can give is love," he said with conviction. The fairy smiled warmly. "You have answered truly. The lantern is yours." Finn carefully took the lantern from the lily pad. As he held it, the glowing gems twinkled brightly, casting a warm light that filled the forest. Finn made his way back to the village, the lantern's light guiding him through the dark forest. Upon returning, Finn gathered the villagers and held up the lantern. "With this lantern, I wish for our village to be filled with joy, harmony, and prosperity." As he spoke, the lantern's light spread across the village, touching every home and heart. The once quiet village came alive with laughter, music, and a sense of community. Gardens bloomed with vibrant flowers, and the fields yielded abundant harvests. The villagers were happier than ever, and Finn's selfless wish brought prosperity and peace to the land. From that day on, the enchanted lantern remained a symbol of kindness and the magic that comes from a pure heart. And though the lantern's light eventually dimmed, the warmth it brought to the village never faded. Finn's tale became a cherished story, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all comes from giving with love and having a heart full of generosity. Once upon a time, in a cozy village surrounded by lush meadows and rolling hills, there stood an ancient willow tree at the edge of the forest. The villagers called it the Whispering Willow because it was said to grant wishes to those who truly needed help. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was kind-hearted and always helped her neighbors, but her own family was struggling. Her parents were ill, and her small garden, which provided their food, had failed to yield any crops for months. One crisp autumn evening, Clara decided to visit the Whispering Willow, hoping it could help her family. As she approached the towering tree, its branches swayed gently, even though there was no breeze. Clara stood quietly and closed her eyes, whispering her wish into the rustling leaves. "Oh, Whispering Willow, please help my family. We are in great need. I ask for your help to make our garden grow and for my parents to regain their strength." As Clara finished her plea, she felt a gentle hand touch her shoulder. she turned to see a small, elderly woman with twinkling eyes and a warm smile. "I am Willow, the guardian of this tree," the woman said softly. "I heard your wish, Clara. To help your family, you must first embark on a journey to find 3 magical items hidden in the forest. Only then will the Whispering Willow be able to grant your wish." Clara nodded, determined to help her family. Willow handed her a small, golden compass. "This will guide you on your journey. Follow its directions, and you will find what you seek." With the compass in hand, Clara ventured into the forest. The trees were thick, and the path was often hidden, but the compass glowed softly, guiding her through the forest. After a few hours, Clara came across a clearing where a sparkling pond lay. In the middle of the pond, on a small island, was a golden lily. Clara knew this was the first item she needed. She carefully crossed the pond on stepping stones and picked the golden lily, which shimmered brightly. As she continued her journey, the compass led Clara deeper into the forest, to a cave covered in glowing moss. Inside, a magical blue stone lay on a pedestal, surrounded by gently humming fireflies. Clara knew this was the second item. She carefully picked up the stone, and the fireflies danced around her in delight. Finally, the compass guided Clara to the heart of the forest, where an ancient oak tree stood. Hanging from its branches was a crystal-clear bottle filled with a glowing liquid. Clara understood this was the final item she needed. She gently took the bottle, feeling its warmth in her hands. With all 3 magical items secured, Clara made her way back to the Whispering Willow. Willow greeted her with a smile and took the items, placing them carefully at the base of the tree. "The golden lily, the blue stone, and the glowing bottle are all that is needed," Willow said. "Now, make your wish once more." Clara closed her eyes and repeated her wish for her family's well-being. As she spoke, the Whispering Willow's branches began to glow with a soft, golden light. The light spread across the village, bathing everything in a warm, soothing glow. The next morning, Clara returned home to find her parents feeling much better. The garden, once barren, was now full of lush, green vegetables and vibrant flowers. The village was abuzz with excitement, and the villagers marveled at the miraculous change. Clara's family was overjoyed, and they thanked Clara for her bravery and determination. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the Whispering Willow was honored with a beautiful flower garden around its base. From that day on, Clara continued to help her neighbors, and her family thrived. The Whispering Willow remained a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that kindness and perseverance could bring about the most wonderful changes. And so, Clara's days were filled with joy and gratitude, knowing that the magic of the Whispering Willow had touched her life and the lives of those she loved.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village by the sea, lived a young girl named Lily. Lily had a passion for painting and spent her days creating beautiful pictures of the world around her. Her favorite subjects were the vibrant sunsets, the colorful flowers, and the playful animals that inhabited the village. One day, while exploring the attic of her grandmother's old cottage, Lily discovered a dusty, ornate box hidden beneath a pile of old books. Curiosity piqued. She carefully opened the box and found an old paintbrush inside. The handle was made of smooth, polished wood, and the bristles seemed to shimmer in the light. As she held the paintbrush, Lily felt a strange, tingling sensation in her fingertips. She decided to test it out and dipped the brush into her paint palette. To her amazement, as soon as the bristles touched the canvas, the colors sprang to life in a way she had never seen before. The flowers she painted looked so real, she could almost smell their sweet fragrance, and the birds seemed ready to take flight. Excited by her discovery, Lily spent hours painting with the enchanted brush. She painted lush forests, serene lakes, and bustling village scenes. Each painting was more vibrant and lifelike than the last. Word of her extraordinary talent quickly spread throughout the village, and people came from far and wide to admire her art. One evening, as Lily was cleaning up her studio, an elderly woman appeared at her door. She had a kind smile and twinkling eyes. "Hello, Lily," the woman said. "I am Anara, the guardian of the enchanted paintbrush. I see you have discovered its magic. Lily was astonished. The paintbrush is magical. How did it come to be here? Anara explained. The paintbrush was crafted by a powerful sorcerer who loved art. He enchanted it with the ability to bring paintings to life. It has been passed down through generations, seeking out those with pure hearts and a love for creativity. You, Lily, have awakened its magic with your passion. But why is it here now? Lily asked. The world is in need of beauty and hope. Anara replied. The paintbrush chose you because it sensed your ability to inspire and uplift others with your art. Use it wisely, and you can bring joy and wonder to many. Lily nodded, determined to use the paintbrush for good. She continued to paint, creating magnificent landscapes and enchanting scenes that brought happiness to everyone who saw them. She painted murals on the walls of the village, turning drab buildings into vibrant works of art. She even painted a beautiful garden in the village square, where flowers bloomed all year round, and birds sang melodies that filled the air with joy. One day, a terrible storm hit the village, causing damage and despair. Homes were destroyed, and the once lively streets were filled with sadness. Lily knew she had to do something. She gathered the villagers and promised to restore their homes and bring back the village's spirit. With the enchanted paintbrush in hand, Lily began to paint. She painted sturdy houses with colorful roofs, lush gardens with blooming flowers, and clear skies with a radiant sun. As she painted, the scenes came to life, and the village was slowly restored to its former glory. The villagers watched in awe as their homes were rebuilt and their streets transformed into vibrant, cheerful places once more. The villagers were grateful beyond words. They realized that the true magic of the paintbrush was not just in its ability to bring paintings to life, but in the hope and inspiration it brought to their hearts. They celebrated Lily and her incredible gift, and the village became a place of beauty, creativity, and joy. Lily continued to paint, always using her talent to make the world a better place. She taught others to embrace their creativity and showed them that even in the darkest times, art could bring light and hope. The enchanted paintbrush remained by her side, a symbol of the magic that lies within each of us when we follow our passions and share our gifts with the world. And so, the story of Lily and the enchanted paintbrush became a legend, reminding everyone that the true magic of life lies in the beauty we create and the joy we share with others.